Check me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shawty on repeat. I say sleep later. This another favor. Consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air. Fantasy a dream. Real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless. Learn to live shameless. Talk about me alive, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless. So I'ma style on them. They washed up. It's a rap. Throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue. Get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Yeah. Vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. I'm talking about vibe with the blue. Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point. Moving forward. The battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash Nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. I'm vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly. Worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather. Be weather, be tripping. Starting to control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, loose-ish. Why they still lying? They don't do this. Bad at board games, whole world clueless. Selling they soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a sliced extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge to tell her? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame? Ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do? Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Come vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer the lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver. Dream weaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd Without Fear. Got the homie Carter Presents right here with me. Always get it mixed up. I had to little razzle dazzle there. Welcome to the 168th episode of the Blerd Cave.
We've been doing these for a minute.
Hot minute. And of course, as the thumbnail might have implied to you, we're gonna be talking about that Shulky.
Yeah.
We'll also be talking about them Sandmans, because Netflix hit us with the okie doke there.
Didn't it though?
Hit us with a little bait and switch. We was watching the left, boom, popped us with the right. Pull some southpaw action.
We know how y'all felt about Rose. We couldn't let it end on that. Let me give you some more.
Which, to be fair, that is how that arc ends. But they gave us a little something extra. They was like, look, man, Blerd Without Fear and Carter just lit us up on the cave a couple of weeks ago. We cannot let that stand.
No. Carter still had like 2 or 3 more episodes left. Ernie lit the ass.
But you didn't disagree. You co-signed. You co-signed by not disagreeing. There's like, man, them cave boys lit us up. Though, to be true, if they would have called us them cave boys, I would have cried racism. I'm joking. I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't give a shit. Like, cave boy. Oh yeah, I get it. Anyway. Salutations. Good morning. Grand rising. All that good stuff. I hope everyone's doing well this week. Lots of incredibly crazy stuff is going on this week. So much. So many surprises. So many wild things are happening. But that said, I do want to take a moment to point out that Gabriel Knight is in this motherfucker. We also got the homie Philip Banks in this bitch. We also got Mailman in this motherfucker. You goddamn right. Philip Banks, he is in here. Moneybags Banks in here. Fresh out of getting Will Smith's dumbass out of jail for trying to shoot somebody on the Peacock special. We also got Reggie Jones in here. We got Zylism up in this motherfucker. We also got C-Fong, Architect of Sin, in this bitch. We also got Carmike the Stoke in here. We also got Edward Nigma 9x9 in the sumbitch. We also got the Herbert Scott in here. We also got the Urban Prince of Strong Styles pulling up through here. I also see Kay Tucker in this motherfucker. I also see, oh my god, it is Vampire Hunter Greg, the cousin of Vampire Hunter D, in this motherfucker. Y'all better watch out, man. He's nothing to fuck with. We also got the King Absolute up in this bitch. We also got X-Triv in this motherfucker. We also got your God Epic De Niro in here. I had to be careful because it's all one word. I had to be careful how I read that. I wasn't sure what I was getting into there for a second. We also got Gunmetal Sage in this bitch. We got the homie K-Bar in here. I wonder if any relation to alternate the alternate name, the alter ego of WWE wrestler Dominic Dijakovic, T-Bar. I wonder if there's any relation. We also got, we got the T-1000 in here. Still on the hunt for John Connor. Be careful, he's killing legal guardians out here. We also got Yoli Spinner in this motherfucker. I see Jesse Smith up in this biatch. We also got, and thank you for the 7 months, Cornelius Samuel in this motherfucker here. Says, keep doing the Lord's work, Ernie and Carter. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for being a part of Blerd Club and making things happen. Or as Michael Jackson would say, sappin' tonight. We also got the true Pharaoh up in this motherfucker. We got Leon A. Casey Jr. up in this bitch. We also got C-Mac the Great up in here. And let's see here. I also see, oh, wow, man, the chat just jumped on me. We also got K-Chaser. We also got Bill 930505 up in this motherfucker. We got Wild Child 730 NY2 Vegas up in here. BS Filter. We got the RP Jesus 316 up in this motherfucker. We got Gamora Skipper up in this piece. We also got the Shadow Strider in here. We also got the homie Warren Register. I see Ed Boy in the cut up in here. We got Bob Boy Versus up in this bitch. We see Splosh pulling up. Oh man, wait a minute. I see the fantastic Null Breaker in here. We also got John Harris, the Black Rogue, up in here. We got Roshan Nesbitt up in here. I see Hero You Know She in the building.
Can I just say that Splosh is a very nasty name?
Yeah, well, it's funny too because there's a channel I used to watch by that name, Splosh. His name was Splosh TV. It was where you used to get the Honest Game trailers.
Yeah.
I don't think they're called Splosh anymore though. I think they're called. I think that all migrated to something else. Hey, Jeffrey Brown up in here. How you doing? We got Tax Sweeney up in here. Says Brooklyn Tack 718 in the building.
Boy, gave us the whole area code. We didn't need to ask for all that personal information. That's very dangerous to do. Just putting your area code out there.
Look. Does that need to be a WWE announcer? Look, let me tell y'all something. I don't ever want to presume too much, but I would love to have Justin Roberts' job in AEW because that dude gets to be ridiculous. I don't know if y'all watched the most recent episode of AEW Dynamite, but Kenny Omega is back. And when Justin Roberts was announcing Kenny Omega, it sounded like he was announcing the guest pastor at the church. Because that dude just running down accolades. He was reading that motherfucker's whole bio.
I ended up watching like whatever one they do on YouTube every week. And
there's a Dark.
Okay.
It's like there's Dark and there's Elevation.
I think it was, I don't know which one I watched, but Jay Lethal was on there, so that's why I watched it. And I know how he used to do the Macho Man alter ego. So when he was getting announced, Justin Roberts said he was from Elizabeth, New Jersey. I just bust out laughing.
Oh yeah, no. I love stuff like that because Justin Roberts don't give a damn. He just be Justin Roberts acting a whole fool. He's problematic as hell, but he does make me laugh.
Shit! Before I forget, while you still giving shout outs, I do want to give a shout out to our guest from a few caves back, Art by Quentin.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, here. I got you here.
I got a shooting today.
Here, let's. Oh wait, there you go. There he is.
Look at that boy, straight out of Viltrum.
Look at him. Look at him.
Fresh off beating the brakes off his only child, but we ain't gonna talk about it. But yeah, I do want to give a shout out to them real quick. I appreciate it. I'm still new to the whole having fans things and getting free merch. I like this hashtag free merch.
Do you know what? Speaking of free merch, Blerd.com, which by the way, go check out Blerd.com if you haven't already, and also Blerd.com / Blerd shop, I believe it were, and go pick you up some merch. But reason why I say all that, in aid of my daughter, who is just 1,000% bought in to the mission statement of Blur Without Fear Enterprises. Blur.com sent me a one of their backpacks, and she was like, can I have it? Because she's going to school and everything. I don't really go anywhere that requires me to take a backpack with me. So I was like, you know what, honey, you could take it. She was so proud of it. She literally went to school talking about, I'm wearing daddy's merch. Like she was just like, you couldn't tell her nothing. You couldn't tell her nothing. But while we are here, you know what? I do want to, since we're giving shout outs and whatnot and putting people on game, I do want to say I am here. Let's
bruh already
dude, off rip. Off rip. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's off rip.
It's been 20 minutes. On my Gorilla's G-Shock watch, it's been 20 minutes. 21 minutes.
Oh my god. My guy just out here just doing the most. Here, let me look. I gotta pull it up. Here. We got Jonathan Moda coming through with the 99. He said Enterprises, nice upgrade. Look, we gotta make it sound special. We gotta make it sound like something special. That way people take us seriously. But man, coming in hot. Jesus. By the way. Listen, Motor Money Stacks bright and early. Look, y'all, look. I love y'all. I love y'all. Jonathan Boat, I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. By the way, and I don't want to give away any surprises.
Yep.
But I will say this in terms I know that Mr. Moto will understand. The eagle has landed. The eagle has landed. That's all you need to know. That's all y'all need to know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, the rest of y'all. Something only for... What was up?
I understand.
Oh, you Carter's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like such a dumbass sometimes. Like, I literally had the light bulb go off.
He's like, what the fuck is he talking about?
I hope you all have friends that, those friends that just I'm not the Charlie of the group, like it's always sunny. But it just takes me a minute because I was going to ask you, why the hell do you have a big ass bird in the house? You at Memphis, why you got eagles in the house? And then the light bulb went. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
He's like, just took a minute. That's all.
Ash, you can't know a secret. You can't know nothing. Okay. Cut my I need to take a shot if she in here because she gonna stress me the hell out. But before all of that happened, y'all be sure to go to blerd.com/Blerd shop. You just put the link in there, as well as art by Quentin.
Mm-hmm. Link is in there.
Link is in there as well for some fire shirts.
See, you gotta bring it in like that. Go
and get shirts like this straight out of Voltron. You just can't get a shirt like this because mine was first off the press before y'all's. Hi, haters.
What's up, Ash? How you doing? We'll be playing some video games a little later tonight. By the way, let's go ahead and do it. I want to get into. I want to get into She-Hulk.
Okay.
I want to get. Now that I said that, now I'm like, oh, let me hit the danger. I apologize.
Baby, I wanna do all of the things your man won't do.
I'm sorry.
For you. I can sing too. I just choose not to.
Yeah,
I was called a penny dropper at one point in my life, but we ain't gonna discuss it.
Hold on, let me. Danger. He dropping panties. Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So one thing I want to get into, and I want to say this before we get into the show or to the topic proper. Yes. But Carter, I have one thing and one thing only I want to share with the audience.
Okay.
Before we start, and it's this. That is the thing that I learned That is the thing that She-Hulk taught me this week.
What would make that funnier is if you were playing like the Avengers theme in the background.
Oh yeah. Do, 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 do. Oh, actually no, but you do it. Look, but you do it to the sound of cheeks clap, just like.
You're just a dirty old man there, Blerd without fear. Okay. No.
I'm sorry. I'm
gonna pray for the man that did it like that.
It's like, why are you running? Can you see?
You need a water jug like this right here if he's smacking like that, dog.
Look. I'm just imagining. I don't know why I'm imagining this. Chris Evans with the cap suit on, and just like, why are you running? Okay, I'm sorry.
26 minutes of this show. This is what y'all have gotten in 26 minutes.
Okay, enough bullshit aside. So Carter.
Yes.
We are here to talk about She-Hulk, episode 1. She-Hulk, attorney at law, mind you. Attorney at law. Puts respect on her name.
I'm sorry. Freddie Lane, he came out with the clutch comment right at the end there. What if Cap said that like during? Like this sister is just tired, and then he just I can do this all day.
God damn it. I'm done with y'all.
Danger.
I'm so done with y'all. But no, I'm just saying, why y'all do this to me? I guess I did it to myself. I started it. But no, so She-Hulk, and I guess, before we dig too deep into it, I do want to say, so this show, She-Hulk, the She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney Plus, which is going to be a 9 episode season.
Okay, that's not bad.
This is and they can kind of get away with this one just a little bit more, expanding the number of episodes because they're not that long. This is more of a comedy show. This isn't to be taken super duper mega ultra seriously or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those where the show, which is being overseen by Jessica Gao, who, for those who don't know, is used to be a writer. I think still is a writer on the Rick and Morty series, and also pitched a Black Widow movie. I didn't know this before, but Jessica Gao, apparently she had pitched a Black Widow movie that did not get made. Her version that she was going to do, which it sounds ridiculous just to hear the premise of it, but I remember she was talking about it. Actually, this resurfaced just recently, but she talked about how she wanted to make one where it was basically like Grosse Point Blank, but it was Black Widow. Basically so basically Black Widow was embedded in the United States since she was a kid. Basically the fact that like she was an undercover op, but like she comes back to her high school reunion, and everyone now knows that she's like an Avenger, and that she was a Russian spy, and how she's dealing with that, and how she's made enemies. They were basically gonna do it like that, but also have She-Hulk in that movie. That's how She-Hulk would have originally debuted had they gone that direction. They turned the pitch down, obviously, because we got a completely different movie. It was way more serious. This movie was gonna be played completely for laughs, is what was gonna make it interesting. But they ended up calling her back for She-Hulk. So this is where we got here. Of course, we got Tatiana Maslany, she of Perry Mason and Orphan Black fame, for those who are not familiar. And yeah, honestly, this show it's great. It's great. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I'll let Carter give. Carter, if you want share some of your thoughts on it right quick. Before I get my gush on, but
danger. Second of all, I will say that this doubles down on Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. So if you did not like that Hulk from Endgame, you still ain't gonna like that Hulk.
Which that's funny to me because that was one of the things I remember people begging for.
What do you mean?
Was for him to become Professor Hulk at some point.
Really?
Mm-hmm. People were begging for the Professor at one point, like the Hulk that could, talk and have normal conversations and walk around in the clothes and whatnot, and they got it, and they were not pleased.
See, and this shows the dynamic between comic fans and why I think comics Twitter is a very disgusting place, because I didn't see that. Mm-hmm. I saw people that wanted Doc Green.
Yeah.
They were hoping for a smart Professor Hulk that slowly turned into Doc Green. And if any of you remember the Doc Green stuff that was going on, he went left with some of the he was making. So that was what I read that a lot of people wanted. And then for every comment that I read of people wanting Doc Green, there were like a few in there that wanted Ed Norton back, which y'all got to stop at some point.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
B.B. King said it best: the thrill is gone. It's gone. It's gone away. It's gone, folks.
Look, but I'm gonna tell you what you can get though.
What's that?
I'm gonna tell you what you can get. You can get that Shulky. You get that Shulky.
Look at Bruce face. Look at Bruce face. He mad this ain't old man Logan timeline. You see how mad he look right there?
Oh yeah, no, he upset. He's like, man, if this was old man Logan, do you know what I would be doing right now? Look, hold on.
We are horrible people. But again, that's really the only negative, if you would call it a negative, about the show that I would say. Because me personally, I'm not that big of a fan of Mark Ruffalo Hulk, but in this, it was all right because I was more focused on the Tatiana Maslany, the She-Hulk stuff. So I will say that was really the only negative. If you didn't like Mark Ruffalo Hulk, you're gonna be salty, but I'm hoping you can get past that, like I did, a lot of people did, and just it's a She-Hulk show. But of course, we're gonna have to do a lot of. And I like that they made that they put that in the show of incorporating. Look, we're gonna have to do this backstory one way or another. This is her first.
Actually, it's funny you say it, because I actually have a clip that I want to share. I have a clip I want to share that your boy went through the trouble of making clips. But anyway, we're gonna play a little clip right quick. This just encompasses. This basically. And this is one of the reasons I love this show so much, just even in just this first episode, because it lets you know off rip what you're getting into within the first few seconds of watching the show. Of course, we get when you to set this up. Basically, it's right before this scene, Jennifer Walters. We're assuming going into this show that this is an origin story. This is the origin. Okay, yeah, this is just the bog standard origin. She's not going to become She-Hulk until the end of the episode, and they're just going to drag her origin out. And then this happens.
You can just Hulk out? Blow everyone's minds?
Oh, well, the only hulking out I'm going to do is in the legal sense.
Oh, no, Jen. No, that's not a good joke.
I can only tell it to you. Oh, one sec. Yeah, about that. It's true. I am a Hulk. And I'm guessing you're not going to be able to focus on this fun lawyer show until you know all about that, so let me get you up to speed.
But no, I love that because I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting, and they do go into the origin immediately after that. But I love the fact that she literally was like, oh, by the way, yeah, this shit's already happened. I'm already out here. I'm She-Hulk already. It's not that big a deal. And it's even more fun because later she comes back and she's like, remember, lawyer show.
Mm-hmm. I love that line because of the very last shot of the episode.
Yeah.
Her putting the heels back on, just put the paws on somebody. All right, I'm ready to do my closing argument. I said, okay, that's fire. If every episode is like that, we got the court show. All right, let me turn green, lay some hands. All right, back to the court show. That would be fire. Plus, I just was not expecting to hear Eve track in 2022.
Right. Well, because they've been playing, what was it? They kept playing Mariah Carey Fantasy and everything else. I was like, bruh, let's go. Like, I feel like Mariah Carey's Fantasy is literally the theme song for the entire show because it's in every trailer. Mm-hmm. But no, for those who are sitting there wondering, like, dude, why are they trying to make She-Hulk funny? And it's like, the thing is, that lets me know you ain't been keeping up. So basically, this is all a love letter to the John Byrne sensational She-Hulk. Some of you may or may not be familiar with it, but the John Byrne She-Hulk series, which was so amazing. And I want to remove this because this is actually one of my favorite things about this cover. Back when She-Hulk used to break the fourth wall on the regular, and like not just inside the comics, but even on the covers, she's like, okay, here's your second chance. You don't buy my book this time, I'm going to come to your house and rip up all your X-Men, because that was also a running gag on the show, is that, people weren't buying the book as much because they were too busy buying all them other X-Men comics, all the random and sundry X-Men books that were coming out at the time. It's amazing. I love it. It's one of my, honestly, I would say Sensational She-Hulk is probably one of my favorite comic series of all time. I'd put it up there.
So I've never read it. I've only seen the bits and pieces that people have posted on Twitter that were pretty funny. Like there was one, apparently people thought she was. They thought
she was naked,
she would pose nude or something.
I know. Yeah, it's from you talking about from this issue with Jump Rope. Mm-hmm.
People thought she was gonna be naked, so they bought the book, and then when you go in the book, she's basically flaming those people that this is what y'all asses get for spending money on this, thinking I was actually gonna be naked. I thought that was pretty funny when I saw that. Yeah,
this right here.
I cracked up when I saw that.
Well, I love how she was also like, oh, what about the Better Business Bureau? They're gonna get us because we did false advertising. But no, it's one of my favorite things about She-Hulk is the fourth wall breaking, which occasionally still happens.
Okay.
Every once in a while, Dan Slott's run on She-Hulk, they do a callback. They do a callback to the Sensational She-Hulk run, and one of the things that comes up is and it's something that we are going to see on the show. I've actually pointed this out in my video for She-Hulk, but there is a point in the show, and this has actually been confirmed, I believe, in one of the trailers, is that there was a scene where you could see that they had a kind of like the old racks of comics we see back in the day in the comic shops and everything. They had a rack like that, but it just had comics displayed on, like you were going in to buy them. But what they were doing is you were actually what was actually happening was they're keeping those comics because they're using them as admissible evidence in court, which is something that came up during the Dan Slott run of She-Hulk. Only the difference was they had long boxes full of comics, and whenever they would need to they had somebody in trouble, let's go back into issue number blah 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 blah. So here, no, this is the evidence right here. They would present that shit like it was Phoenix Wright. But what I liked about this show is that it embraces all of that silliness. Which, I mean, I'm not going to lie, John Byrne was on another level, because one of my other favorite panels of She-Hulk is this right here. Where...
Okay, I thought this was fake when I saw this online.
No, this is real. This is actually from... this is from issue number 5 of Sensational She-Hulk, where RoboCop pulls up and is literally, reciting lines from the movie, and the little boy is calling him Robot Cop and saying that but basically saying dude's cartoon was trash, and She-Hulk's all like, "Whoa, hold on, pimp." She was like, knocking that cartoon in my comic might mess up me getting to keep my book. Like, they were always, like, the thing is, John Byrne was constantly making jokes about the Better Business Bureau, the Comics Code Authority. He constantly made jokes about the fans that were always wanting to see She-Hulk naked. He was always, like, John Byrne was better than we deserve. But what I like about this is that this show, all of that silliness, the show embraces it. Like, yeah, there are some serious moments. Like, I saw some people, like, the thing is, I saw people complaining about this, and I thought it was silly because it's not that big a deal. But people were complaining, like, oh, the show is way too feminist. I think I saw Grace Randolph complaining about it on Twitter. She was like, I'm a feminist, and I hate how feminist this show is. Like, and the thing is, it's the same shit that people bitched about when Captain Marvel came out. Like, I remember people said the movie was too feminist and too woke, because there was a scene where this dude told Captain Marvel to smile, that she needed to smile more. And the funny thing about it is, while it may come off as cringe to some men because they're like, oh, it's just trying to be woke. And it's like, but here's the thing. Women get that a lot. Like, women get told to smile. Like, that's a thing. Now, a lot of younger men, like men who are, you know, a lot of, you know, maybe some of you younger guys don't do that. But people who come from, like, older generations, they still do that. And some of that has trickled down to some of the younger people. Like, there's certain things that men say to women without even realizing how fucked up it is. Mm-hmm. Like hell, like people tried to come at me for bashing Reed Richards on Twitter the other day. But the thing is, there were things Reed used to say to Sue that were sexist as fuck. About how, oh, you weren't being a fool, you were just being a woman. Constantly referring to her as a nagging wife. And things of that nature. But the truth behind this is that, and something I kind of feel like a hard conversation I think we need to have with people sometimes, Carter, is that sometimes you have to recognize that you're not the target audience for something.
Well, so I was actually pulling up the episode again because there's there's a lot that you just said right there. The scene where she's talking to Bruce when she's basically talking about how she keeps her anger in check when she's catcalled. When somebody who has the exact same job as her, when a guy who has the same job as her is trying to explain her area of expertise to her. And I saw a lot of people were saying that scene was feminist, but I'm like, dude.
It's true, though.
But it's the equivalent of, if people got excited or were just like, tell them when Michael B. Jordan was talking to that woman in that museum and was talking about how those white people,
all the colonizer jokes. Yeah, all the colonizer jokes.
Did you pay a fair price, or did you take it like you take everything else?
If you were one of those people who were clapping for that and you're not clapping for this, then you're not keeping the same energy. Because that was woke. If you want to call it woke, that was woke. And I know we love our precious Black Panther. I do too.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just that you don't be mad because it ain't for you.
Yeah.
You know, you can't beg for more of this, but be mad when somebody else gets it. It's stupid. That it's incredibly selfish as well and short-sighted, I would say. But I love that scene. I love that scene because it. Honestly, without spending 9 episodes trying to go through the whys and hows of why She-Hulk can control her anger and all of her her different forms and and all this other stuff, it made it to where you didn't actually have to spend time expressing that. You literally summed it up with a little bit of dialogue. A little bit of dialogue basically made it to where we can get right back to the show. And honestly, I feel that's the better way to go with it because it makes sense. For one, She-Hulk is, for the large part, with the exception of like the earliest parts of her Savage She-Hulk run, which was the first comic that came out, I think was back like in 1980. 1979, 1980, yeah, whatever. The thing that people didn't want to admit to themselves is that she did have more control than Bruce. I mean, yeah, when she would get angry, she would turn, but that shit kind of went away real quick. That went away real quick. That was not something that lasted. It lasted 12 issues. And then after that, she was able to control it. Matter of fact, she was even more articulate than Bruce even before she learned how to control it. But it makes sense. If you have to constantly keep yourself in check on the regular, as opposed to someone who never ever addressed their trauma, whether it's childhood or otherwise, then yeah, you would definitely be... And let's be real here, too. She-Hulk isn't the only one. There are plenty of other Hulk-like entities, other people who are gamma mutates, who can control their shit better than Bruce. Hell, A-Bomb. Rick Jones is better at it than Bruce was.
If you want to keep it current, because I just read that issue yesterday of Savage Avengers, Weapon H.
Yeah, Weapon H. Yeah, Weapon H can control his shit better than Bruce. So, I mean, it's like all these people are like trying to be upset and angry. It's like, dude, just get over it. Yeah, it is what it is. This show is fantastic. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it ain't. Show is great. It's fantastic. I love it.
I want to wait until the entire thing ends before I say fantastic. I will say this was a really good first episode. I will absolutely say that. It hit the right notes for me, even with me not being that big of a fan of Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. He was fine. He was serviceable. The way they changed her origin of becoming She-Hulk, it was a nice way to do it. But yeah, all in all, man, I think, like I said, this was a really good first episode. Why is that the face you chose
because it makes me smile. It makes me smile.
But yeah, what did you think of the little bit of time that we got with Titania?
It's funny you bring that up. Yeah, I thought it was fine. Because it actually mirrored what happened when they first encountered each other in the comics. It was a very quick, oh, hey, you're here. Bam, get the fuck up out of here. And then it kind of grew into, more as it went along. Then they became bitter rivals and things of that nature as the whole thing kind of progressed. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a great start to the show. I think I like everyone that's involved. I have no issue with the Professor or Smart Hulk being on the show or in the MCU period. It's because honestly, you can't just be stupid for forever. I'm sorry. That got old real fast. And movies and TV shows move with the speed that comics don't really have the luxury of being able to move at. So the fact that was progressed to the point that it was didn't bother me in the slightest. But because I know, just like with comics, it's not static. It'll move forward. He was an idiot for 3 movies? 2 movies, I think. Or actually, no. Yeah, 3 if you include Incredible Hulk. He was he went from being mute for the most part in Incredible Hulk, except for when he said Hulk smash. And he only really smirked and said one line in Avengers, to doing a bit more in Age of Ultron, to actually being a bit, not 100% articulate, but just a bit more articulate in Thor Ragnarok. And then by the time we get to Endgame, he's Smart Hulk, and we really haven't seen him much outside of cameos, for that matter, since then. And being to this point doesn't bother me at all. That's called storytelling and long-term booking. Which means eventually at some point he will probably be something different by the time we get to the end of the show.
So there's one comment I see in the chat I kind of want address because it kind of confuses me. From Miss Maria, she asked, does it have Jennifer being Miss Perfect Hulk because she's a woman who has no flaws and she insults more Avengers like Tony Stark, aka Bruce's science bro? Did we watch the same episode?
No, we did not watch the same episode. First off, how is Jennifer being? I don't even think that. You know what? I'm gonna be real here. I wonder if this is even actually a woman.
You can't do that. That's how your ass get canceled around here.
Nah,
I like doing this show every week. You not finna get me canceled.
Look. If you want to talk about not getting canceled, let's talk about the shrapnel I almost caught because you kept misgendering Ezra Miller. so let's calm down about the cancel talk.
For real?
Yes, it did.
No way.
You don't have to deal with that shit, but I do. So yes, let's move along. No, we were not watching the same TV show. We were not watching the same television program. I think that is literally just someone being stupid. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. Because here's the thing. At what point did Jennifer Walters say anything disparaging about Tony Stark or act perfect?
Yeah, I can't tell if it was a question or she was or they were being condescending. I don't know.
I think they were being. I took it as them being condescending. But the truth of the matter is this. Honestly, the only person talking about Tony Stark was Bruce. Jen didn't talk about him at all. I think the closest she came to even discussing him was when she saw his helmet from Iron Man 3. One of the Iron Legion helmets. But
real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I did have a question when it pertained to Tony Stark.
Okay.
Because I remember Iron Man 2 was basically the whole demon in a bottle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did he ever stop drinking MCU? Because there were those scenes where where Bruce was talking about how the bar he made, where Tony would complain about Steve Rogers when they were drinking together. I couldn't tell if that was before Civil War or he was talking about what happened after Civil War or during Civil War or something like that.
It probably happened after Civil War.
Okay, so he was still drinking it. So in the MCU stuff.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Or you know what? Honestly, yeah, it had to be after. I would say it would have, or it could have been beforehand. It could have been since Age of Ultron. But no, it wouldn't have been Age of Ultron because he was gone. And he didn't come back until and he didn't come back till Infinity War. So it had to be the early days, literally Avengers 1 is when they probably built that. Because, yeah, if you look at the timeline, Hulk wasn't around after Age of Ultron. So it had to be between Avengers and Age of Ultron when that was built, most likely. Though I did appreciate the levity around that bar. Because it did, because while I think Tatiana Maslany is a fantastic presence when it comes to comedy, I think she did a fantastic job, with that. Mark Ruffalo, a lot of people forget, has some comedic chops too. And I thought they did a really good job playing off of each other. The chemistry was great between them. It was awesome. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I guess I don't want to lose these, so
that's why I actually still had them pulled up. I have two separate chats going, so we did.
Oh no, you're all good. No, you're all good. I got this right here. Because we got one with the homie Gabriel Knight with the 1999 in the super chat. Says just showing support for Carter's singing career. There you go, Carter. Go ahead and give it. Do you want to sing this one, Carter?
Look. That was a very rare piece that you all got from me earlier in this program. I have stopped doing that because it has been known to make people, quote unquote, melt. So that's not something that is going to happen on occasion. I will leave the singing to Ernie so I can mute it every time.
Hey, that's fine. Hey, because it ain't for you. Anyway, Jonathan Moda with the 1999 in the super chat says, so that's what the America's ass comment meant. Hey, I just want y'all to know. There you go. You now know.
Whoever made that is a genius.
Yeah, just put it out there, man. Yeah, just put it out there. Putting that energy out into the world, my guy. We also got another one here from John the Moto, also with the 1999 in the super chat. It says the Eagle has landed. Hot copy, Red Leader. My guy. By the way, y'all are gonna be in for a surprise. Y'all gonna be in for a really big surprise. Come next week, we're gonna we'll be making a little announcement. Just y'all just wait. I can't wait to tell you. We also got the homie RJ Fellham with a $5 super chat. Says people are scratching their heads over a funny She-Hulk. Meanwhile, I'm feeling old as fuck, having grown up with funny She-Hulk. No, I mean, here's the thing. So that was 1989. That was 1989 when John Byrne was on Sensational She-Hulk. And think a lot of people don't give John Byrne enough respect for is that John Byrne, when John Byrne was on it, was writing and drawing.
Oh, wow.
Sensational She-Hulk a lot of the time. And what I thought was also really good about John Byrne's run on Sensational She-Hulk, there was even an issue. I don't remember the exact issue, but there was an issue. Matter of fact, I wonder, do I have it in my do I have it saved anywhere? But there was an issue where he started the issue with a completely different writing style. Okay. And also a completely different art style that did not look like his art. It looked like another artist at Marvel. And like it was more it was not, I won't say grimy, but like it was just more, I don't know, it was something. It was just something else. And what I loved about it was how they did this fourth wall break where the editor came in and she was like, nope, we are not doing this. She's like, you are going to start this book over. Like, they were like 2 or 3 pages in. She's like, you're going to start this book over and stop using someone else's drawing and writing style. And now, she was like, now, start over. And then they went back to John Byrne's usual art and his usual writing style with more comedy and less seriousness. And it was like I said, and here's the thing. I'm not saying John Byrne didn't do the entirety of that 60-issue run. Yeah. Because I think Peter David did some of it. And I'm blanking on some of the other writers that were on it as well. But they managed to keep the same tone for the most part. But John Byrne's issues were just particularly special because I think he did like, oh my God, I think he did like the first 8 issues. Or maybe it's the first 15. Might have been the first 15. Maybe his first 8 to 15 issues, give or take. And then he did like somewhere around 31 to like 50. And then the last 10 issues were somebody else. But because he just was like, yeah, y'all aren't really letting me do what I want to do. I think he even had himself killed off in his final issue of Sensational She-Hulk, where like Shulky literally threw that motherfucker out a window. And made a joke to the editor about how this issue is going to sell just as good as Death of Superman. to give you some age on when that came out. But yeah, I love stuff like that because honestly, comics are stupid sometimes, and they should be. They should be allowed to be stupid. So Ed Boy in the Cup with the $5 super chat says, my only complaint is how Titania looked. It looked like she fought a 1980s peep show wardrobe and lost handily. Well, you know, Jesus. And that's the thing. So this is something that I think a lot of people haven't caught on yet with this new iteration of Titania. Because the thing is, Titania in this show is not the same as old Skeeter from the original comics. A lot of y'all may remember Titania as a more serious character. In this, Titania is more of a social media influencer, which is why she kind of has the vibe and aura that she puts out. Like honestly, I saw like there were some people that because I think she even the actress Jamila Jamil, she actually responded to this on social media where fans were complaining about how bad her wig looked and how she looked ridiculous and all this other stuff. And she was like, and while she agreed, she was like, yeah, I look ridiculous. She's like, y'all aren't wrong. But I think the idea, and I think when we actually get to her episode and see why she is the way she is, I think it'll make a lot more sense, because I think she's kind of supposed to look that way. I think she's kind of supposed to not be taken as seriously as the Titania that we're used to seeing in the comics, which I'm fine with. It doesn't bother me. Honestly, I kind of feel like, I think it was kind of supposed to be obvious it was a wig. I kind of like, honestly, I kind of went into Arrowverse mode. Like, you remember back when the original Black Canary on the show, Casey Lotz, remember like when she would suit up as Black Canary? The blonde hair she had was a wig. It wasn't her actual hair. And like and it wasn't like something they tried to hide. It was actually a part of her costume. Like, she would take the mask off, the hair would come off with it.
I mean, they've done that with Batwoman. Like,
Batwoman
wasn't a real redhead, you know?
No,
She had a whole tapered fade. She took that wig off.
Yeah, look, she just came out the barbershop. Someone just got done lining her up. But no, so I mean, yeah, I totally get it though. I totally get it though. I think we'll as we go through it, we'll get there. But what's that? Jason Davis with a $5 super chat says, for people that don't know, woke is defined as being alert to injustice in society, especially racism. I hate when people use it incorrectly. No, it's no. And here's the thing, I do as well, because I feel like woke has become a pejorative. And I'm putting on my political hat here for a second. But woke is used primarily by anti-SJWs, which largely are conservative, right-leaning individuals, even libertarians, because basically all a libertarian is a diet Republican, which might actually be worse. But basically, they use it that way to take away what it actually is supposed to mean. It's one of those things where, like, I think there's even actually, and I'm not making this up, there's actually a bill that is being touted by Republicans right now as the anti-woke bill. Like, it's basically a bill that encompasses getting rid of CRT, critical race theory, which I want to make sure I say this every time this comes up. Critical race theory is a college-level course. You literally have to pay someone to teach you critical race theory. It's not something that is taught in kindergarten or elementary schools or middle school or even high school. If you think that, you are a damn fool. You literally have to go to college to learn about critical race theory. And it's not what people think it is. But it's also the whole don't say gay thing. Anti-trans bills going against gender confirmation, things of that nature, whatever. So yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it being used as a pejorative, but it's sadly the way that it has gone. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with being aware of social injustice or doing anything about it or speaking up about it. Just, I want to make sure that everybody is clear on that shit. Let's see here. Our next one here is going to be from Conway Bergdog with the 499. Says, why have I always thought that it was a car accident that caused her to become She-Hulk? Mandela effect. No. Okay, so here's the thing. You're not far off. You're not far off. The truth is that what caused She-Hulk to become She-Hulk is she was driving. She was actually driving at the time. What changes, the change they made on the show, oh, that is my alarm telling me to take my medicine that I've already taken. But what actually changed was, as opposed to a car accident, what actually occurred was she was driving around with Bruce, and she got shot in a drive-by hit. So basically, for those who don't remember, She-Hulk she was a lawyer, even before becoming She-Hulk. She was trying to help Bruce build a case to clear his name because at the time he was a wanted man for all the destruction and stuff he had done as the Hulk. And they were trying to put that together. And when they were getting out of the car, there was a crime boss that she was building a case against by the name of Nick Trask. And he put a hit out on her. And basically, she got shot. Remember here, I'll pull up. Yeah, here it is right here. She got shot, and Bruce gave her a blood transfusion to try and save her life. And then when the criminals came back later in an attempt to try and kill her, to finish the job off or whatever, that was what triggered her her first transformation into She-Hulk. So if you never knew that is the actual original origin. They kind of, and honestly, a blood transfusion, they technically kind of did it. They just did it in a different way, where she got injured, she cut her arm on a damaged part of the car, and she had an exposed wound. Bruce's blood got into hers. That's how she turns, which is kind of silly when you think about it, but at the same time, it makes sense because they even explain it away later that if it would have happened to anybody else, it wouldn't have worked. That it's something that's special about her specifically, in her DNA and how close it is to Bruce's, that allowed her to make that transformation. So it's very expertly handled, I felt. Yeah. This we also got one from the Elite X1 with the $5 super chat. Says Bruce had abuse issues from childhood. It's why his turn into Hulk developed alter egos. Jen likely came up easier and with less trauma, thus no alters, which is true. That is also another detriment to, and I think Immortal Hulk really delved into that a lot more than a lot of other comics did. Brian Banner was always abusive. That was always kind of depicted, but we never really saw the true abuse until Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk, where we saw Brian Banner just wholesale beating his ass.
Yeah. I mean, you saw a little bit of that in that old Ang Lee film as well, that old Ang Lee Hulk movie. And I think that was another reason that a lot of people were kind of salty about this Hulk on the show, just because he was jealous and he couldn't believe that she didn't have an alter ego, but they didn't really bring up the fact of what Bruce Banner went through. And I know a lot of people were salty about that, but I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't the show for that.
No. This is, here's the thing. This is a show for funny, levity, lighthearted stuff. I don't think we're going to be addressing childhood trauma on the show. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the rights to Hulk are about to revert back. So maybe you will get to see that eventually at some point, because that's the reason why Hulk has never gotten his own movie after the Incredible Hulk film that came out during the early days of the MCU. It's because Marvel can't make a solo Hulk movie because they don't have the rights. They have the rights to put Hulk in random and sundry shit, which is why we usually get subplots of Hulk in other things. But they can't just make a Planet Hulk movie. They couldn't just, I'm sure Marvel wanted to, and they kind of slick did a little bit with inside of Thor Ragnarok, but they couldn't just dedicate a whole movie to that because they would have gotten sued. But another thing I do appreciate here is I do think we will be revisiting some things Planet Hulk related, considering that we do get an Easter egg. The thing that causes the car accident is a spaceship, and it's very quickly pointed out that it is a Sakaran spaceship and that it is a courier spaceship, which is likely trying to deliver a message. And I'm pretty sure if you are familiar,
that would be hilarious.
What
I think it is now.
Look, if we find out that Hulk in the MCU was getting a little clappy, getting a little thunder clappy out here, he was smashing them cheekuses. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. If I find out, if we get confirmation that Hulk has his whole son out here in these streets, look, just been tagged like he was tagging somebody in on Sakaar, and we see this motherfucker show up at some point, I'm gonna holler. I'm gonna holler.
I'm happy I'm happy you brought that up again, because I and someone else in the chat, they actually said it as well. But as soon as I saw the ship at first, I thought it was possibly Skrull related.
Okay, you know what? I kind of thought that at first too. Actually, there was even one point I thought it might have been a Wakandan ship, because I remember in the trailers that ship is shown. But it's so quick that, like, and I could have went back and looked, but I just didn't. But I was like, I wonder if it's a Wakandan ship. That would be interesting. It would maybe kind of open up some more things for the show. But I thought it might have been Skrulls too. I never put Sakaar together until when Bruce said it. I was like, oh yeah, duh.
Here's the you gotta ask yourself though. Is it gonna be the son you want, or the son most people don't remember?
Oh.
The only reason I remember it, because that was the one book I would always see in a Barnes and Noble that was so dusty because nobody touched it.
Nobody wanted to touch it.
Is it the son you want, or is it the one you don't like bringing up?
Honestly, I don't know.
Is it Bart Simpson, or is it that other Bart that Marge had she kept in a basement?
You hate shit. Well, I mean,
Treehouse of Horror.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel. I feel like you should go for the one people are more familiar with. That's my thought process. I think it should be the child that people are more familiar with. And who knows? It's early yet, but a lot of here's something else that I thought was kind of hilarious. Speaking of things that, did you know people were complaining about Moon Knight not being in the opening, like bum 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 bum, like at the beginning of the
I did not know that was a thing.
Okay, so yeah, Moon Knight recently had cropped up, and they do this every time. Whenever a new or recent show comes up, they put whatever the latest character is in it. Because Miss Marvel is in the She-Hulk one. And Moon Knight was in the Miss Marvel ones. So people are now complaining that that Moon Knight wasn't in the opening. And it's funny because someone actually came back with a image that was from, I forget which run this was. I don't think it was Dan Slott, but basically they were someone came up with a clever reason as to why this happened. It was this shot right here. Here, I'll move this so y'all can kind of see what's going on. Because the last time Moon Knight saw She-Hulk, this happened. He's like, oh shit. But no, anyway, I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, but anyway,
back to what you said. I think I do agree with you. I think they'll go to the one that most people would know. Plus, just with the Hulk we have now, it would be now you got the ideas in my head now, because that would probably that Hulk. So obviously, I think they would do a movie for this. I think they've been waiting to do a movie for the Incredible Hulk, but if it was a Disney Plus show, that I think would probably be a comedy as well. Because if it was Scar, with this Bruce Banner, Professor Hulk we have, you would have to make that a comedy. Just that. Dynamic. That
no,
have to be a comedy.
100%.
But here's the thing, though. Just because that's what you want, don't mean that's the son you're gonna get.
Oh yeah. No, I 1,000% agree with that. But like I said, it is heavily implied as of late that the rights will be soon reverting back. So we'll see soon enough. Maybe we will see that.
What if we both just wrong and just out of nowhere you see a ship land and Jeff Goldblum pop up just saying you owe me money for them fights?
Oh, I mean, it might be. It could be that. Like honestly, I feel like anyone who's been following the channel long enough, y'all know how I am. I'm a huge proponent of the concept of Occam's razor, which is basically the concept that the explanation with the least amount of moving parts, the simplest explanation is oftentimes the correct explanation or is the obvious explanation. So yeah, it could just as simply be a gag that comes up later. Yeah, we could see Jeff Goldblum pop up and could be sitting here talking about, trying to get Hulk on this. What was it Jeff Goldblum doing? Is he doing Priceline ads now or the Expedia ads?
I thought it was apartments.com.
Oh yeah, it's probably apartments.com. Yeah, he probably trying to put Hulk on apartments.com, man, trying to get him. He's like, hey man, I've been trying to get up with you because that condo you got, we got to put it on apartments.com.
He might just lay hands on Bruce, just saying, hey, I'm in some dire straits. You owe me some money for them fights. That last Jurassic World movie wasn't hidden. I need my ducats.
Look, my dead presidents right now. Ed Boy in the Cut with the $5 super chat says, what if Sakaar has been taken over by the Red King and they are asking him to come back and free them? Hence, we get a proper Planet Hulk. I could see something like that being a thing. I could actually, in fact, see that. As a matter of fact, for those who are not familiar, here's a shot right here, Red King right there, for Queen and Country, to bear witness to. But yeah, I could see that. I could very easily see something like that being a thing. I could very easily see that being a thing. Eric Morgan with the $5 super chat says, Ernie, not one word about Sync being recognized as an Omega level mutant. I thought you'd be dancing in the streets by now. Well, no, here's the thing. I already talked about it. I talked about it during the I think it was like X-Men number 7. It was either X-Men number 7, number 8, where he used Jean's abilities when she wasn't around and his nose started bleeding. And Sunfire was like, dude, you've never done that before. And he was like, yeah, doing that. Yeah, so that's technically why I didn't bring it up. Because I kind of felt it was already addressed. I didn't feel like it needed to be addressed any more than that. But yes, Sync being, which makes sense if Hope Summers is considered an Omega level mutant with her powers. I feel like Sync should be in the same boat, considering that they have the literal exact same powers, with one feather in Sync's cap is that he can mimic the powers of not just mutants, but anybody. It's not just X genes. He can mimic the powers of the post-humans. He's been proven to mimic the powers of Spider-Man in the past. And yeah, I feel like, and not only that, I know a lot of people say, oh, well, what about Hope? Because she can use other people's powers and use them in ways they can't. Sync can do the same thing. He literally did it with Chamber way back in Generation X. He used Chamber's powers to fly, and Chamber didn't even know he could fly. Like, Chamber had them powers for a long time, and he never figured out his powers allowed him to fly. Sync was the one that made him realize that.
Irv Sweet said Sync been Omega level. He didn't need Bobby to verify him.
Right, dude. Exactly. Yeah, but look, I'm like, man, Bobby, sit your always trying to turn into Ultraman ass down. Man, get on up out of here.
Bobby, Emma Frost had to put you on game about you.
Right? Like, look, get on out of here, man. Get.
Wait, was that Emma Frost? Who was that who used his powers like top turd? Who was that?
I don't remember.
Fuck. That's gonna bug me now.
I don't remember, but yeah, that is the thing though. Like people take, like, and here's the thing. I also like the fact that Sync literally picked up Iceman's powers and in less than 2 panels was already using them on the same level as Bobby. Bruh, get him out of here. Hell, and I'll even put a little respect on Rogue's name. Rogue took Jean's power. Well, granted, she's had a lot of practice with this most likely, but she took Jean's powers and was using them on Omega level, doing the same stuff that Jean was doing. So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that, like, I feel like it's time. It's time now.
That boy
it's
said, is he Peter Petrelli?
It was Emma.
Shout
It
out
was
to Heroes.
Bruh. Lord. Look, here, Elite X was say, yeah, it was Emma. It was Emma.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Yeah, you know you ain't shit when somebody else got to tell you how to use your shit right. But no, I guess yeah, that's everything I want to talk about with She-Hulk. Let's go ahead and get over to the Sandman, the bonus Sandman episode. Netflix was like, dude, they blessed us this week. They said, man, look, I know y'all enjoyed that Sandman, them Sandmans, but y'all go ahead and have another one. Which honestly, I kind of hope is something that they do normally. Because for those who are not familiar, the Sandman does have a lot of short story issues. There's a lot of issues with Sandman that don't seem like they're going anywhere. Mm-hmm. There's random things that happen.
I mean, the episode in the fucking diner, I literally hit you up and I said, was that just like a one-off kind of issue deal? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's what it, when you watched it, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, no, so basically what happens is in the diner, if I'm remembering reading it correctly, the getting to know all the characters happens in one issue, and then all the crazy shit happens in the next issue when John D is there, and he starts making everybody. Technically he's there the whole time kind of watching them, but then like over the course of that story he eventually starts twisting their desires and making them be true to one another.
But yeah, the whole reason I brought that up is just because that felt like what this surprise episode was. Mm-hmm.
Like the issue. Okay, so basically what they did, they took 2 of the issues that come right after the story arc they did on the show. Was a Dream of 1,000 Cats and Calliope. Mm-hmm. Those are the 2.
Wait. Could you say that second one more time? We finna make sure people know proper pronunciation. What was her name? What was that name again?
Calliope.
Not Calliope. I saw several videos of motherfuckers saying Calliope.
Okay, so here's the thing, and you know it's funny you say that. It's funny because someone clowned me, and I've gotten clowned recently. Because I've been bringing up the character Gia. Now, people were getting on me saying, it's not Gia, it's Gaia.
Okay, I didn't know who you were talking about.
No. So here's the thing. So when the name is spelled G-A-E-A, it's Gia. You can look it up. It's Gia. Sometimes even Gia. And when it's spelled G-A-I-A, sure, maybe. I don't know. I don't care. But the thing is, it's Greek. It's not English. So keep that in mind. But anyway, yes. There was once upon a time people did use to say Calliope or whatever. It's Calliope. You can look that up too. It's Calliope.
It's like all them people I've seen on Twitter because the Dragon Ball Z stuff for Fortnite Have you seen the people that can't say Kamehameha? They're saying Kameyama.
Yeah, they say Kameyama. Yeah, it's same thing. It's same thing. But yeah, just to give you, I just wanted to throw that out there just to prove a point. But no, so basically, yeah, those two issues, which they're basically short stories, they don't really seem to have any bearing on the main plot of Sandman as a whole until you get way later into the series. Damn near towards the end of it, a lot of the short stories that have popped up over the course of the show get readdressed. Case in point, there's an issue that's all about when Sandman met Nada. And it comes up in the middle of what we, like in the issue-wise, in the middle of what they adapted for the show. They just didn't go there with it. I wouldn't be surprised, because, I mean, they had everybody there. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another bonus episode. I'm not saying that we are. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised, because two other issues that I feel, and I want to make sure that I'm getting them correct here. I think it was not issue 20. I think it's issue 19, I believe it were, maybe. Okay. Yeah, issue number 19, which is called a Midsummer Night's Dream. It's exactly what it sounds like. You remember, Carter, the episode where Sandman's hanging out with Gadley?
Yeah.
And there's the first time where they talk with one another. He meets William Shakespeare. And they go walk off and have a conversation. That issue was a follow-up to what they talked about. Okay. Basically implying that the Sandman was the inspiration behind Shakespeare's play, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And he invites King Oberon and Queen Titania, as well as the entire fairy kingdom, to come and witness the play. I wouldn't be shocked if they did an episode dedicated to that. There's also, I believe it is, I can't remember, it might be issue, I don't remember what issue number this is. I can't remember it to save my life. But, issue number 7. It's issue number 7 called Tale in the Sand. That's the issue, issue Sandman, issue number 9. That's the issue where we learn about Nada. And it's kind of, when you first read that issue, it's nebulous as to who the man is that Nada has fallen in love with. But the further along you go, you realize, it's just the Sandman in another form. That's where Sandman was black. And it's the start of their relationship.
That's an episode. The floodgates are going to open.
Oh, yeah. Dude, people were already kind of freaking out that they even addressed it in that one episode where he was in hell. Like, people were really surprised when they saw when she was looking at Sandman and he was black. People were already acting a whole monkey.
You see that episode and he pokeballs into, like, Common or some shit? Boy, the floodgates are open.
But no, this episode, I really liked it because, well, for one, I know some people were thrown off by the fact that Dream of 1,000 Cats was in a, like, CG animated style, which I thought made sense because you're dealing with cats. Could you imagine how difficult it would be to do this story with actual cats? Just throwing that out there. But I like this episode because this, for those who know, the short story Dream of 1,000 Cats is basically, it's a tale of a kitten that gets convinced to go outside of their house when their humans go to sleep, and it's a meeting of other cats, and all the cats are coming together. And basically what they're doing is they are hearing the story of this one Siamese cat. And she's basically recounting a harrowing tale of how she had a litter of kittens, and those kittens were taken away from her. And her humans are basically like, oh, she probably is happy that we got rid of them. Who would want a bunch of kids suckling at them all the time, all this other stuff? Humans basically putting their own emotions and thoughts on an animal, which I've always found problematic, but that's another story altogether. But what I loved about this episode is it doesn't now, while I do find one of the instances that pops up in this show kind of triggering, the story overall I felt was very well handled, because this Siamese cat then goes on a mission to find the Sandman. And when she does, Sandman doesn't look like the Sandman. Sandman looks like an animal, because once again, everyone perceives the Sandman differently.
Yep.
And I thought that was really cool. I love this. And first off, I just want to say Tom Sturridge is just, anyway, just great. Fantastic.
One thing I want to say that's really gangster about that episode is Neil Gaiman actually went on Twitter to speak on it. And he said the episode was written by a woman by the name of Carolyn Smith McMullen.
Mm-hmm.
He met this woman when she was 9 years old at a fan convention, telling him how big of a fan she was of Sandman at 9 years old. And you fast forward to now, and she gets to write an episode of this fucking
dude. That's gangster.
That's gangster.
I love stuff like that. I love stuff like that. That is not to rehash something you and I talked about earlier before we went live, but actually you just reminded me of a thing that we talked about earlier with the last Shadowhawk, because Philip Tan was a fan of Shadowhawk back in the day and met Jim Valentino, and then fast forward, they do a 30th anniversary issue of Shadowhawk, and Jim Valentino hits up Philip Tan and says, "Hey, you want to handle this for me?"
That's dope.
You love to see stuff like that. You love to see stuff like that. The second episode, I thought they handled this material about as well as you could, because I guess before I move into the other one, just to show how well they tackled some of the subject matter. Like, I literally just showed you guys. This shot right here of the Sandman in his animal form, and this is actually the shot from the comic right here, which I thought was just awesome, and the dialogue is perfect. It's on point. It is everything that it needs to be at that precise moment in time. But then moving on to the next one, the story of Calliope is another issue altogether, because this is a story about a guy by the name of Rick Maddock, who is basically a failing author. He's not able to get anything done, and one day he meets another author who he admires, and this author gives him a gift. And the gift is a woman. A woman by the name of Calliope. And I will say this, I appreciate they handled this episode better than I would have imagined, because in the original comic, Calliope is butt-ass naked almost the entire time. They don't allow, the guy who kept her captive did not allow her to have clothes, because basically her only purpose is to provide him with inspiration. But just being around her doesn't do it. He has to take something from her. And to do that, he has to have sex with her. But in every instance, this is rape. And they handle this so well. They handled this incredibly well. I really liked the way that they depicted the nature of the relationship between the Sandman and Calliope, how much things had changed between them. I hope they come back and revisit, and I think they will, the history between these two characters, because they have a son together. And I think that I feel like the strength of Sandman is that they're able to tackle, like, use the seasons to tackle all the stories that progress the narrative, but then, and maybe have an episode here or there that kind of is off the beaten path, but then have little bonus episodes like this. I think if they did this on a regular basis, just to tell some of these little stories that don't really fit into a season or the arc of a season, I feel like that is where Sandman's strength could potentially be, where other shows don't have that luxury. I think would be amazing, but yeah. Did you have any other thoughts on it, Carter?
No, I think you kind of just hit the nail on the head, because that's something that is extremely touchy, and for it to handle it the way that it did, you don't really want to say graceful, but like you said, they handled it as best that they could with that material that they had. So
most certainly,
I commend it.
Yeah, like it's like, and I even told a friend, our buddy Adam, because he was talking about it. He was talking about how he wanted to watch the episode with his wife, but I was like, man, I don't know, man. These issues could be, the issues they are doing these shows on could be kind of not problematic, but they could be triggering because of some of the subject matter in them, and I was like, let me watch it first, and then I'll tell you what I think. And I told him, I was like, it's funny because they kind of flipped it. The thing that I thought they would go with in the show, they didn't. They actually cleaned it up. And the thing that I thought they would shy away from, the thing I wasn't sure where they would shy away from, they actually did. In regards to the story about the cats. So I was like, I would just kind of, be careful. But I loved how they did, like, just once again going back to a dream of a thousand cats, is how they depicted this right here, where talking about how cats used to be giants and they used to let humans lay on them and pet them and groom them and stuff like that, and humans worshipped them, and then at night the motherfuckers would come out and started eating. I was hollering when I saw. I was like, man, y'all. I was at Neil Gaiman. I know he was somewhere, just proud as hell. But anyway, let's go ahead and move it on along. This is kind of a quick thing we'll address, and then we'll probably just move on. So Ezra Miller, we talked about him last week. And I'm not, once again, I don't want to be presumptuous and say that, we did something. We didn't do anything. Because I saw some people, and I assume maybe they were being facetious or joking, but yeah, we didn't do anything. That was not us that did that. But no, Ezra Miller just, over the past, I think it was just maybe a couple, 2 or 3 days after, said they're checking themselves in. They are checking themselves into to a mental health facility to get some help. And while I think the apology that they gave probably felt sincere to them, I don't feel the apology holds weight until they stop grooming, allegedly grooming children. Disband the cult, send that girl Takata back to her family, and be done with it. If you want me to take it seriously, I'm not saying it's what you got to do, but if you want me to take it seriously, you want the world at large to believe that you have changed. And honestly, I don't even think it was Ezra's decision. Because I know Warner Discovery has been getting clowned over the last little bit for canceling movies that do not have problematic actors in them, but wanted to hold on to this one because it was testing well. Basically showing they cared more about the money than about the well-being of others. And I'm pretty sure they probably pulled Ezra aside and was like, hey, you need to go get into Betty Ford and get your stuff together. You need to go down to Betty Ford Clinic and get hooked up. But what does this mean going forward for Ezra? No clue. And honestly, until it happens, I don't care. Because this was more of a lead-in for the next thing. Talking about the fact that, Warner Discovery doesn't want to shelve that Flash movie. Apparently, rumor around the campfire is that they're trying to make nice with Leslie Grace. Apparently, they are trying to mend the fences, is the word that was used to describe the efforts they are making with Leslie Grace, because they realize they done fucked up by canceling this sister's movie. And apparently they do want her to come back. They want her to, they're trying to court her to get her to come back to a future Batgirl project. They didn't even say like another movie. They said that we want her back as Batgirl, because something else happened. Carter, I don't know if you saw this, but there was another report that came out that an anonymous person involved with the Batgirl movie, and it's heavily implied it was either one of the directors or it was one of the stars, and very likely Batgirl herself, called out the executives at Warner Brothers Discovery and David Zaslav himself, calling them cowards I don't know. I don't know if they're... Yeah, because actually, no, they do say there was an anonymous actor basically said that David Zaslav's cowardice is breathtaking. There's no acknowledgement of who the actor is, but I think it's safe to say it very likely could have been Leslie Grace. But whoever the person was, like I said, no one really knows who, but they criticized the leadership behind Warner Brothers Discovery as not just cowardly, but also expressed their severe disappointment in the studio. So whoever, considering that the star was anonymous, and then about roughly the same time we get reports that executives of Warner are trying to mend the fences with Leslie Grace, it wouldn't shock me if 1 + 1 = 2. I don't know. But what do you think about this, Carter?
The one thing that I read that said that they would basically try to find a way to use her in future projects.
Yeah.
Even though there is a $90 million film somewhere on a shelf.
Mm-hmm.
That's the equivalent of a girl saying, I want you to take me to dinner. I want you to pay for everything, but I know we said we were going to do this,
mm-hmm.
but nah. You can still do all these things for me, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I was going to go a different route with it, but that'll sound a little bit but,
yeah, I knew where you were going.
It reminds me of like, okay, it's like some high school stuff. Like the popular girl will come up to you like, I want, I'll kiss you if you do this. And then it's like, nah, you can hold my hand though.
I mean, here's the thing though. Do I feel like they will be able to get her to come back? I think they could. But I don't, but it would have to be for, well, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Not for some side project bullshit though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they wanted to bring her back to be, like, just in some side project shit or, like, somebody's cameo or whatever, I feel like that would honestly be an insult to her. Because you gave this woman a whole movie. She took time out of her schedule, albeit to be getting paid to do so, to do this, but still, she put her time and efforts into this, and I feel like it would be a crying shame to diminish that by, oh, well, hey, you can totally come back and play Batgirl for us as a side character in maybe a future Batman movie, or maybe you get to voice the character in like our next animated show or whatever, or some shit like that. I think that would be dismissive and very disrespectful.
I think even if they released a movie, I still feel like she wouldn't want anything to do with them just because, okay, you released a movie and you should have done that anyway.
Yeah, you should have done that from the jump.
I think she would have that kind of energy, and I wouldn't blame her for having that. So,
yeah, I wouldn't either. I would not either.
That's so lame to me. Like, you're not going to make your movie. We can try to figure something out, though. Like, that's some foul shit if these rumors are true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we canned what you did do, but I mean, we'll put you somewhere. That's
we'll figure it out. Yeah, no, we'll figure something out. But anyway, that's just something I thought was very. I thought that was very something. Says, well, I see in the chat, so I saw what Kane said, DC needs a consistent universe like the MCU. Here's the problem. They've tried that, and it failed miserably. They've even gone as far as to say recently that they're going to try to get someone into a position, a la a Kevin Feige, to oversee the universe. And I know as we were signing off, someone brought up that the rumors around the campfire were that Mark Guggenheim would be the person that is rumored to be the guy that they're going to go with. Which, okay, if that's the case, fine, I guess. Guggenheim has experience with building universes. You say what you will about the quality of the storytelling and a lot of the shows, but I will give Mark Guggenheim this: of anyone who they could potentially get to build a cinematic universe for them, Guggenheim ain't the worst choice. Because he did successfully do it with the Arrowverse. Say what you will about the shows. But as far as showing the cohesion between each of the shows, I thought that, yeah, he knew what he was doing. Stories might not have been lit, but he at least knew how to make it feel like these characters existed in the same universe when they actually did exist in the same universe. But the thing is, I think DC needs to stop trying to chase that cinematic universe money. Just tell good stories. Focus on making more movies like The Batman, Shazam, which, though it is a part of the DCEU, it might as well be a standalone film outside of references. Focus on telling standalone stories that don't connect to some wider narrative, and I think you'll be better off, because not everybody is suited for that. So, there you have it. Was a BS filter with a $5 super chat said, DC talking to old girl like they broke up with her but want her to slide through to get her back blasted. And that's kind of what it does look like. You sure you still don't want to come through, though? Look, I know it's that time of the month, but a little toppy? That's basically what they're doing.
But just seeing an old white man just say it's a little toppy. That's the first.
I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. I'm out of pocket today. It is what it is. But yeah. That's actually, speaking of the devil, that's actually kind of where we're at right now. Carter, what's your recommended for the week?
My recommended for the week is going to be something I spoke about on Twitter. It's going to be Angel number 8. This was the last issue of I think this was maybe the third Angel series we've gotten from Boom Studios. Another solid mini series. I hate that it was a mini series. If you're a fan of the Angel series, I think you will love this series, especially this last issue, because it hit a lot of notes from the very last episode of the actual series itself. Christopher Cantwell did a great job. He said it himself that he was a huge fan of the show, and that's basically what these 8 issues were like you were just watching a different version of the show. So if you did not read that Angel series,
they're gonna let Donny Cates hear him say that.
Hey, I was thinking about that myself. But,
next time Donnie see him, he gonna flame him.
Yeah, Angel number 8 was really, really cool if you're an Angel fan. All 8 issues were really, really good. They aren't following the show at all. What you remember, they actually changed it. That's what they've been doing with the Buffy and Angel stuff. They've been doing a lot of changes to differentiate them. So it was a really good series. Really good series. What about you? What you recommending this week?
Actually, I'm gonna recommend a few things. For one, is more because these are things I just recently picked up. I'm gonna give myself the one for a minute. But right here, this and I'm sorry, the light is probably making it difficult to see. But I picked up Static Season 1.
Whoop whoop.
This is a hardcover edition of Static Season 1, as you might be able to tell. This is the joint by Vita Ayala, Reggie Hudlin, Nicholas Draper-Ivey, Chris Cross, Dennis Cowan. They've all worked on this book to some degree or another. This book is fantastic. It's 6 issues, 6 issues of fantastic goodness. You can see right here. Here, let's go. Let's get some money shots here. I love it. It's fantastic. It's great. The story is fantastic. Virgil, really good in this. I like the way they kind of revamped the universe. I know a lot of people took issue with it or umbrage with it, but I feel like those are people who haven't recently read the old Static comics, or maybe you never read them and you're just only going based off of that Static Shock TV show. Because I know there's a lot, and I even like they addressed that in the Milestone Generations documentary. There's a lot of people that didn't even know Static was a comic. That most people only know Static because of the TV show. But also, I'm gonna recommend Shadowhawk Chronicles Volume 1. Now, one caveat I want to put on this one is, this is actually not the original color pages of Shadowhawk. These are actually black and white, which I'm actually perfectly fine with. I mean, I would have preferred the original color, but I like it. It's really good. Shadowhawk's a really great series. If you've never read it, definitely recommend picking it up. Also, I got Volume 2 hardcover of because I actually got the other one over here. But Ta-Nehisi Coates' Captain America. Which is basically, I think this is, what issue is this? Yeah, this is issues 13 through 30. Yeah, 13 through 30 of the Coates run on Black Panther. Really good, solid series. If you've never read it, basically, so I can find some good shots here. A lot of these issues are going to actually be Steve working with other people outside. As a lot of what this book is. Early stages, he's working with Black Panther and the Dora Milaje and other people that you would associate with Wakanda in an effort to take down Selene, who, if you're an X-Men person, then you would know who that is, the Black Queen. And then last but not least, the hardcover for Inferno. So this is Jonathan Hickman's Inferno, which has a really awesome little, let me see if I can do this in a way that's not going to frack up my book. Here, let's take that off. Take slip cover off and I can show you. I love this cover, by the way. It's actually kind of a revamp of a previous. You might have a hard time saying. Yes, there you go.
I really want that as like a big ass poster to put somewhere.
Yeah, no, I would love it too. I love how it's also got Wolverine, Gambit, Marvel Girl. I think I see Havoc and Polaris.
Yeah, that
in
was
here
one of the
too.
first like promotional images they showed for just Hickman's X-Men stuff. I thought looked really fire.
Oh wow, I have 2 slip covers. Interesting. Okay. I'll take it. But yeah, Inferno, great book, fantastic book. And while only like just a few issues, it recontextualizes some things from House of X, continuing the story of Moira McTaggart. And albeit in some ways that I will admit feel kind of rushed, considering that some of the things that happen in this book, I highly recommend it. But that is basically that's my haul. That's my haul for this week. And I guess what? Also, I'll bring this bad boy out. Volume 2. Volume 2 here. We'll go ahead and show this off because I got this as well. Volume 2 of the Sandman Omnibus. This is basically the back half of the Sandman series. I think it's issues 30, 33, 34, 35 or whatever, up to like 75. But like, yeah, this is like just fantastic stuff, man. Look at that. Just so good. So good. Just Sandman wilding out here in these streets. And also telling a lot of the crazy, like a lot of the latter half of Sandman is really just crazy stories. Once you kind of dig down deep into it, but yeah, this book is just like I said. Sorry for the light, y'all, but I need light. So there you go. But there you go. Ooh, that thing heavy. You can beat somebody's ass with it. But no, so let's go ahead and move on into our questions from the Discord. But first, before we actually do that, let's answer some super chats real quick. We got the £5 from LJ Brown. It says Aaron Carter DC is screwed. Universe-wise, J.J. Abrams has a supernatural characters on lock. They should have just made DC and DC Black Label. I mean, honestly, I don't disagree.
I mean, they're doing Black Label right now with these Joker movies, so they're just...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is actually true. But I do find it funny, like some of the memes I've seen, like everybody's like, I think it was one where it's like, you get out, you get out, you get out, and then they point at Joker, like, but you stay. And then the rumor, like I said, more to the rumors that, the Batman hasn't been greenlit. The Constantine reboot is in danger. And then there was another one I think they said was paused indefinitely. I forget what project that might have been. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on, and I kind of feel like DC just needs to maybe do something else. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But I feel like something's missing. But that said, moving on along to the next. B-Bowl Trading with the $4.99 Super Chat says, have you guys read Do a Powerbomb? The story is great, and the action is so dope. Yes, Carter and I have talked about Do a Powerbomb a lot. That's a series that I've had my eye on since before the first issue came out. When I first saw solicits for it, it had my attention. And it is a great comic series thus far. 3 issues in. And you can tell that Daniel Warren Johnson gets wrestling. He gets it. He's a fan. You can tell that he gets New Japan Pro style wrestling. Some of the moves that were used in this most recent issue. What was it? what was it? I believe it was FTR. They had there's a part where somebody one of the tag teams uses FTR's finisher. For those who know what FTR is, that's the Revival.
Wait, the Monkeys did it, or the Crazy Fools at the bar?
No, it was a different group. It was a different group.
Oh, okay.
It was it was the Knights.
Okay, I gotta finish that issue. I'm like, bro, if the Gorillas that hit somebody with the big rig.
Oh no. Okay, so Orangabang, which is the tag team's name, they did a reverse Dudley drop. They did a reverse 3D because the big one lifted them up, but lifted like so. Basically, the way Devon would do it, Devon and Bubba Ray would do it. Bubba would lift you up.
No, Devon would lift you.
Okay, yeah. They used to reverse it sometimes. I don't know. The way they used to do it in ECW and the way they did in WWE is very different. But, like, basically what they do is, one of them would lift you up, but you would be facing towards the other one. And the other will come up and bring you down with an RKO. They did it differently. They lifted the person up for a reverse neck breaker instead. And the other one would come up and then grab you from the front, from your forehead, and drag the back of your skull down to the mat.
Hail to the chimp.
Mm-hmm. And then there was another group did something similar, but what they did is they did the devastation device, where one of them lifted you up and the other one would grab the back of your skull and pull you down into the kneecaps.
Now keep in mind, y'all, all this is real.
Yeah, they're not doing fake
selling.
wrestling.
They
no one's
selling. That's one of the funny but fucked up parts of this book.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone there except our two main protagonists, they know it's a work.
Mm-hmm.
They know it's not real. Everybody else that's doing this thinks this shit is legit. So motherfuckers out there getting hurt for real.
Yeah, because there's a part where, like, I think
ain't no telling how hard them gorillas dropped that dude on the back of his head.
Well, no, there's a part where one of the orangutans comes up is like, so is it true what they said that y'all don't really hurt each other in the
Yep.
And the yeah, matter of fact, here I got to show y'all this because it was awesome. Right here. That's the devastation device. That dude about to bring dude into the kneecap. Look, and then wait here. Look, look at dude's face.
Yeah, I gotta finish this issue.
I
gotta finish this issue, bro.
He broke his shit. But no, what was I gonna say? The Rangers like, y'all don't do fake wrestling, do you? Because basically everyone else in the universe does real wrestling. They don't sell. There's no predetermined anything. You out there hitting each other for real. If you hit somebody with a chair, you are coming with bad intentions.
They're coming off of watching Earth wrestling on TV, and it's basically a group of, it's still real to me, damn it.
Yeah, pretty much. It pretty much.
Why do you fuck up that raccoon like that, man? Why that raccoon get fucked up like that?
Look, Rocket Raccoon caught it. Look, that motherfucker, like, you see, he's like, ooh, like when that shit hit him in the chin. Because, yes, they are fighting a raccoon man, yes. Because it's basically aliens. It's all aliens. They're not all human. But yeah, that's one of the things that Cobra Sun and U.S. Steel they get messed with. Is that some backwater planet where they don't even wrestle for real. But I love it. I love that. I love that comic. It's so good. It is so freaking good. Let's go and get into our Discord questions. We got we got some Discord questions here. Let's see. Let's see here. Prince of Apathy says, Jamila Jamil pulled a muscle in her asshole filming She-Hulk. Did you know that could happen. Well, for one, I did not know that could happen, but now that I'm thinking about the logistics of it, makes sense. That's it. It's hella messed up though. Like, can you imagine? Like you know what it reminds me of? We were literally just talking about wrestling. Was it Shelly Martinez when she was in TNA? She was going against Rebel.
Yeah, you showed that clip, like maybe last or
yeah. It was the part where like Rebel was putting her in some weird ass submission hold. It didn't make any sense, but basically Shelly just started screaming, "Ow, my veg!"
I thought you were going to bring up the Nia Jax one that was all over Twitter. She kept screaming about her hole.
Oh yeah, that was that was another one. It's like, oh, my hole, which is like, it's one of those things. Just like, interesting. But yeah, I did not know that was a thing. I did not know this thing, but now I do, and I feel like I'm somehow better for it.
Can I ask
go
a
ahead.
question? I got
Go
a
ahead.
question. Got a question for you, Blerd Without Fear.
Okay.
With you now owning the Milestone new Static Season 1 hardcover, my question to you is, why the fuck didn't you tell me these hardcovers came out? Because I'm buying Icon and Rocket as I speak right now. I did not. I was not aware that they was out.
Okay, so
You see, this is what y'all be talking about when you all say that he worked for Marvel and DC. You see how he got to connect but won't tell nobody nothing. You see this shit?
Look, let me be real with you. So, Icon and Rocket, I think either just came out or is about to come out, and then Hardware is supposed to come out, I think, very soon. So yeah, they're releasing them in hardcover trades. They actually just recently revealed some of the solicits for the new Static comic, which looks pretty awesome. I actually saw Nicholas Draper Ivy.
Yeah, he keeps dropping like little bits and pieces of it because it's not even called Season 2. It's Dakota. I think it's Rising,
Dark
Dakota
something or something. Yeah, Dakota Rising, something like that. But this is actually one of the covers right here, and Static looks fire. Right there, but yeah, I'm very, very anxious to see that. But Dude Man asks, says first off, good afternoon, people. Hope y'all doing well. With so much drama in Warner Brothers, is there any good side to this? Hashtag death by snoo. Hashtag what the hell is really going on? But no, okay. So is there any good side to this? The one good side of this is that maybe DC will trim the fat. Maybe Warner Brothers will trim the fat that DC has been putting out. Some of those projects that kind of seem like, well, why the hell are they doing this? Those will go away. Not all of them, but some of them. The bad thing is we're going to lose some of the things that we care about. That's
one thing everybody's talking about now with a lot of the series that are leaving HBO Max. I think they left this week, matter of fact.
Close Enough was still on as of like a day ago, but they may be gone now. Supposedly, someone actually reached out to HBO, and Warner Brothers more specifically, and apparently they revealed that they're only going away temporarily. And there were a lot of people I saw that were kind of clowning Warner Brothers for not being clear on this. Truth of the matter is, I don't think Warner Brothers ever gave a statement saying they were getting rid of these things. It was just other websites that caught wind of this and reported on it. And people were like clowning Warner Brothers for, why didn't you make this clear? Why didn't you make this clear that y'all were going to bring them back? They're only gone temporarily. Because they don't have to.
Hasn't Netflix done this before?
Netflix does this shit all the time.
Okay, because I don't have Netflix. All I have is HBO Max.
Dude, Netflix stays snatching stuff.
Every time I turn around, like there's literally a spot that says last chance because it's about to leave. And then maybe a month or so later,
it'll come back.
Right back on there.
They literally did this with the Batman.
Yeah.
They literally did this with the Batman and Matrix, and then they put it back. It's just people need to calm the fuck. Here's the thing: you can only put so much on that goddamn app. Folks need to calm down. I swear, folks are fucking stupid. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be dismissive. It's just stupidity irritates me. Actually, no. There's one thing that irritates me more than stupidity, and it's entitled stupidity. That might anger me a little bit more. But no. While I am sad that they're that Close Enough is canceled, I get it. It was a niche show that I think only people who were fans of regular show watched. It wasn't something that had mass appeal. I honestly think that show was only really, I'm not going to say only. I feel like that show only is really going to draw you in if you were someone who used to watch regular show, you were a fan of that, you saw that art style, realized it was the same creatives, and you were like, okay, cool, I want to check this out. Because that's what got me. I probably would not have watched that show had I not been a fan of regular show. At least not at first. But I thought it was cool. It's a good show. It's a show that speaks to me, a grown-ass man who is a married adult with children. It spoke to me. And I think it would speak to anybody else as well if you are in any of those categories, an adult and or married and or has children. Otherwise, I feel like it would be lost on most people. Some of the humor and comedy, the things that are made fun of, the jokes about having a day off where, like, you don't have your kid and you and your wife can just do whatever the fuck you want. And you think that they're about to go to the bedroom and start clapping cheeks like crazy, only to learn they're doing their taxes. They're shopping. They're replacing things in the house that need to be replaced. Now, they are wearing their negligee and, lingerie and whatnot while they do so. But that's what they're doing because that's what adults do sometimes. Now, Shadow the Cat 99 asks, hello, Ernie and Carter. I hope you all are having a good week. I'm just starting to get into buying issues at my comic shop since I haven't read a lot of comics before. I bought AXE Judgment Day and Edge of Spider-Verse to get something to try. Is there any Marvel or DC storylines right now that you would recommend for a first-time comic buyer? Yes. I would definitely say if you can find a copy of House of X, definitely pick that up. Matter of fact, you can pick up... Sorry, moving sketchbooks. You can pick up a copy of House of X in trade by now. You can pick up Ten of Swords if you want. I've considered getting it just to complete the set, so I can have it next to my House of X and Inferno, but it's probably not something I would ever actually read. Again, it's not a story I just absolutely loved. See? Ernie can be critical. Also, well, you said Marvel or DC, so, but I'm gonna put this out here. Once and Future is amazing. I would also say pick up Immortal X-Men and X-Men Red if you're not keeping up with that. The current Moon Knight series by Jed MacKay is on fire. I would also say that the current Ghost Rider, which I think that's Benjamin Percy, if I'm not mistaken, also fire. I would even also go as far as to say that if you've never read Far Sector, treat yourself. And while I'm... You know what? I would definitely say, if you haven't read... If you hadn't caught wind of the current Eternals run that just recently wrapped up by Kieran Gillen, I recommend it. That book is great. And also, I know Carter will co-sign this one. Immortal Hulk. Immortal Hulk is... That might be the best Hulk book. I'll say it's the best Hulk book I think has ever been written. Period. Next up is going to be Ed Boy in the Cut. Says, have you all seen the November solicitations for Marvel and DC? A lot of good stuff coming out. New Planet Hulk mini by Peter David, a new JSA ongoing by Jeff Johns as well. There's a lot of good stuff. Also, I saw that Nubia is finally joining the Justice League for her 50th anniversary. That looked really cool. I like a lot of the new stuff I'm seeing. There's some really there's some nice stuff coming in November. That's really all that's leaping out to me at the moment, other than like the upcoming milestone stuff. So yeah, definitely some good stuff. I know a lot of people we kind of talked about last week about Jeff Johns. A lot of people still hate Jeff Johns for whatever reason. Here's my thing. While not exactly the same, I put Jeff Johns in the same category as I put people like Brian Michael Bendis. Sometimes I think people just like to shit on that particular person and just ignore the fact that they ever wrote anything good before. I get it. If you even take away some of the stuff that happened during his time working for Warner Brothers, you even take some of that stuff out of the equation. If I'm just judging him by his body of work, while Doomsday Clock is not the best thing since sliced bread, nor should anyone think it is, I do feel like I'm not going to sit here and act like this man didn't write some of the greatest stories DC has ever come up with. Same as I would with Brian Michael Bendis. People like to clown Brian Michael Bendis, but you're going to sit here and act like this man didn't write Alias. He didn't write Powers. He didn't come up with some of the best stories you've ever read, and you're going to sit up here and try and pretend that he's trash. Okay, cool. All right. Shows me how long you've been reading comics. You probably just got on a Comicsgate Reddit thread and just said, probably looked up the post and said, what artists and writers am I okay to hate, regardless of how good they are? Okay, this is it. All right, let's go. That's what you did. That's what you tell me when you say that. And Carter, would you have any others that you would recommend? Current stuff that's coming out right now? Marvel or DC?
Honestly, I wish he hadn't have just said Marvel or DC, but it's actually smart he said Marvel or DC, because had he said anything, boy, been just
he'd been broke.
Boy, flat, bro.
Look, you already know. Look, you saw how quick I pulled out Once in Future, but you also know how quick I wanted to pull out that Something Killing the Children.
I knew that was coming. I was waiting on you to grab it. New and current, honestly, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I would that's a Marvel
Thor. Donny Cates' Thor.
So don't take this as a negative, but I would recommend Daredevil more than Thor.
Well, no. I'm not saying it's negative. I was just throwing out an alternative, another one that I didn't think of before.
Okay, I'll give you one each. Marvel, I'll give you Daredevil. DC, I will tell you Dark Knights of Steel.
Yeah, I kind of fell off of Dark Knight, so I need to catch up. That book is good.
Because it's being delayed, I believe, because there has not been a issue in a minute. Yeah.
Okay, I thought the issues were coming out and I was missing them. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Yep. You know what? And I don't think I gave too many current DC books, so I guess I'll give one too. I've actually, though I know some people aren't caring for it as much, I'm actually enjoying Black Adam thus far. The current Black Adam, not the movie tie-in issues. I've been enjoying those. And you know what? Technically, this is DC too. The Nice House on the Lake and Task Force Z. There you go. I like those. Those are great books. Next up is going to be LJ Brown. Says, Ernie and Carter, have you heard the rumor of Madam Web movie is going to be a grandfather paradox movie where someone is traveling in time to kill Peter's parents? What are your thoughts on this? Okay, I guess. I mean, honestly, what else are you going to do with a Madam Web movie? What else are you gonna do with a Madam Web movie? But no, you know what? If you told me it was Moreland, I would be into it. Get a vampire in there. I'd be down. Because I think Moreland was one of the main proponents of the original Spider-Verse in the first place. So yeah, sure, do that. I'd be fine with it if it's Moreland. But otherwise, I don't care. You got any thoughts on that, Carter? He seemed to say.
Do we have any more questions?
Urban Prison Strong Style says, good evening. Y'all, my question of today is if a multiverse version of a 616 character that did something evil or downright fucked up, is it still the same character of the 616 counterpart? Did that or someone else entirely, for example, like Reed Richards slapping his son? P.S. The Human Torch ain't shit. Well, here's the thing. If it happens in an alternate universe, it's not quite as bad, but it still happens. But at the same time, there's other things I would hold Reed Richards to task for, if for no other reason as being a terrible husband. And father, just in general. You could take all those other things out of the equation, he'd still be a bad father and a bad husband. So, I mean...
I had to look at that question again because it confused the hell out of me when you said it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that he put Reed Richards in there just because the Council of Reeds, not every Reed on that council was a good person.
No, a lot of them, I would dare say, weren't good at all. We got another one here. Jay Dizzle says 2 questions for y'all. One, any prognostications on what the SOS means in the promos for X-Men in January?
Nice word.
Yeah, I actually don't get to use that word too often in a sentence. Saw someone suggested Secrets of Sinister. FWIW. I don't know what that means.
Fuck with interracial women? I don't.
I guess. I don't know. Says, and 2, if you got a chance to read the Daredevil issue this week, could you help me out with understanding the villain's powers? Is it that the dude caused Elektra's daddy to get murked, thus making her who she is? Okay, so here's the beauty of this. Actually, I have a video coming out for this.
Lord, it's Jesus Christ.
It's Jesus Christ. It's yes. It's Reverend Kenneth Copeland that's talking to him. But no, the Winter God.
I couldn't remember his name.
Is the Winter God.
Looks like a damn demon. He looks like a demon.
Oh yeah. I'm like, bro, you laughing like a whole supervillain. Actually, you know what? If they, like, yeah, I said before, if they make a God Loves, Man Kills X-Men movie, get somebody that literally channels Kenneth Copeland as William Stryker, and I'll be in for it. But no, so my prognostications on what the SOS means, I don't know. I don't know Morse code, and I actually tried to translate it. It was so difficult. I don't understand how people actually can understand it. I literally couldn't.
Hoping in all them replies that somebody did.
I did too. I actually did too, but apparently no one figured it out, and I just kind of moved on with my day. It could be something Sinister related because Sinister is getting built up to be kind of the next threat that they're going to have to deal with. But I think it might be something more related to Nimrod. If I had to take a wild stab at it. But as far as the Daredevil issue, basically Goldie's power is that when he tells somebody something, they will do it. He's basically like the Purple Man. In a way. But his power is revered as more divine. I don't think his power is actually divine. I don't think his power is actually coming from God. I think it's coming from somewhere else and he just doesn't realize it. But his power is very similar to Kilgrave, only instead of it being pheromones, at least not as it's been revealed yet, it's actually just his words. He's able, like, basically, he's able to...
He's preacher.
basically, like, his words basically inspire people to do shit, because, like, he didn't tell the cop to kill the Elektra's dad, to fire into the building. All he said was, they're killing hostages. And he said that a voice in his head told him that the officer next to him was trigger happy and would do it if he said this. So basically he's doing what he is being told. He's saying what he's being told to say to the people he's being told to say it to. Because a lot of times when he says stuff, it's not even exactly what they go to do. He just knows what the intent behind what they'll do if he says that thing. So yeah, you can kind of compare him to Zebediah Kilgrave in a way, but he's not exactly Zebediah Kilgrave. I guess if you wanted to put it this way, he's a Zebediah Kilgrave who thinks he's helping Daredevil. There's a common thread between street-level superheroes right now. You see it with Punisher right now. You see it with Moon Knight right now. You're seeing it with Daredevil right now. They're all going up against villains who think that they're making the character in question better. Like Zodiac on the Moon Knight side of things, he thinks that Moon Knight's gone soft, that him having friends and allies who are helping him and supporting him is making him weak. He wants him to go back to being the more ruthless Moon Knight from, was it like the Charlie Houston run? We went against Taskmaster. He wants him to go back to that Moon Knight, and that's what he wants. He wants the brutal Moon Knight back, which is funny because Moon Knight is still pretty brutal as of late, but yeah, he's and he's even Jed McKay. I think he's even confirmed that Zodiac has a commentary on toxic fans. The Punisher right now, the Archpriestess is trying to get Punisher to be the best version of Punisher he can possibly be by giving him superpowers from the hand. Right now, Daredevil, Goldie is trying to make Daredevil the best version of Daredevil he can possibly be, all while trying to remove distractions from his life so he can focus on the mission. Like, that's what this is all about. But yeah, anyway. The next one would be Rough Rider says, speaking of the Milestone documentary, did you feel that there was some revisionist history when referring to Dwayne McDuffie in the Bible of Milestone? Revisionist history? Wait a minute, are we talking about, like, how they've changed things, like, in the current Milestone? From what it was in the original? I mean, yeah, there is revisionist history there because they updated it, but I don't think that that's a bad thing. Because if they honestly would have kept the same story from before, I don't think people would have taken it as seriously. I know I don't take it seriously. It's actually I've said this is my least favorite part about Static, is that he tried to kill someone because they beat his ass, and we're supposed to act like, oh, it's okay. He was ready to murder someone who literally wasn't even looking at him.
Whoop, whoop.
But, anyway. But yeah, I don't, if there was something else, I didn't catch any revisionist history. I felt like they characterized Dwayne McDuffie as well as one could, without spending the entire documentary talking about him. Big Ben Theory says, have you guys read Dark Spaces Wildfire from Scott Snyder? Really cool heist story. I haven't read that one, but I have heard some things about it. I'll have to put that on my list. Carter,
no, that's news to me. I'm going to look that up now.
I know he's got another book out that I've also been enjoying. Things was We Have Demons. I think that was the digital first series. And of course, there's always Noctera, which has always been pretty good. But yeah, I've been enjoying a lot of that. Let's go ahead and get into, because we're actually kind of rolling up on time here. Let's get into questions from the chat, and we will start off those questions. We're going to start off those questions, and here, I'm going to give us I'll give us 15, because we got super chats. John Battle coming through with the $10 super chat. Says, thanks for an entertaining cave. Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for enjoying. Thank you for that super chat. We also got Brent Fox with the $2 super chat. Says, just showing support. Man, look, y'all are just so great. I love you. Just wonderful. Salt of the earth. We also got Nick D with the 1999 super chat. Says, hey guys, I'm in Chicago right now. Red Hot Chili Peppers concert last night. I heard about that, actually. A friend of mine was talking about it on Facebook. Says, getting ready to go back home. Just dropping by the show. Some love. Hope all is well and good with both of yous. Blerd Koa for life. We appreciate that. Thank you so much, Nick. First off, I heard that Chili Peppers concert was pretty wild. Just based on some of the things I heard from a friend of mine. But, man, I didn't even know they were still touring. Good God. But, yeah, I wish they would come out this way. Get a little bit closer. Maybe they might come. If they come by Nashville, I'd probably have to go check them out. We got, here's a question from Shadow Strider. It says, Henry Cavill as Hyperion. Thoughts? We've actually talked about this before, I believe, you and I. I think you and I both were in agreement on this one, weren't we?
Yes, we were. We both were down with that one.
Yeah, I think even myself, a noted Hyperion, not a Hyperion hater, but a guy who's normally not a fan of Superman types. I thought that was actually that would honestly be gangster casting. I also think that they could also do a good job of Henry Cavill if they wanted to make him the Sentry, and I'm not even a fan of Sentry. But it's gonna be hard to. You'd have to keep him in Sentry form 24/7 because I don't know if I could take schlubby Henry Cavill seriously. He's back to being Bob. Let's see here. Let's see here. What else we got? Okay. What we got here? Also, yeah, I saw somebody here. Brought up. Bendis was great till he ruined Superman. I don't feel like he ruined Superman, but I mean, if anything, he made Superman somewhat more human to me, which made me enjoy it just a little bit. I didn't think the story was great, but he wouldn't be the first person to write a bad Superman. I think they've been writing bad Superman for years. Let's see.
Well, I see one question. He's asked it twice now. So, what do you? This is from Hello Humans. What do you think we're gonna get for Spider-Man's 60th anniversary next month? Comic wise, I don't give a fuck. Ooh, Lord, Zeb Wells. Ooh, Lord.
I've been enjoying the Spider-Man. It's just that I don't know what they're gonna do because if I'm not mistaken, that issue is gonna be written by a lot of people. So it's going to be all over the place.
See, and my whole thing is because they do this with several anniversary comics. It's going to be written by several people. The thing is, the next issue is going right back to Zeb Wells. I'm good. I'm straight. I'm super straight.
You are notorious. You are
straight. That's why I am.
I will say though, you are a noted disliker of Spider-Man though. In general,
no.
You said that to me once. You said you normally don't like Spider-Man.
I said I see why villains want to put hands on him. I get
well,
that
yeah, because he talks shit.
Yeah, but I have not liked Spider-Man because of the writing team. Nick Spencer, that run was not good. The only thing that saved that run was Brian Otley art. This Zeb Wells kung fu treachery, no.
So who is your preferred Spider-Man then? Who wrote your preferred Spider-Man? Was it J. Michael Straczynski?
No.
It was a joke. I was being facetious.
Okay.
I wasn't even expecting you to give me an answer. But I get it. But for me, I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. I don't get as triggered as Carter does about characters not being written a certain way. I'm usually pretty cool on it. I accept change, as the Skrulls tried to teach us during Secret Invasion. Embrace change. Because by and large, I don't take Spider-Man seriously as a character, because Spider-Man doesn't take himself seriously. But once again, different strokes for different folks. Let's see what else we got here. How do you like Dota Dragon Blood on Netflix? I don't have an opinion on it because I haven't watched it. I'm not a fan of Dota. I don't like MOBAs by and large, and shows about things I don't know anything about, I'm hesitant to watch. I only watched Arcane because of how it looked, and then discovered I liked the story. I do not like the game, and I refuse to play it. You could not. I don't think you could pay me to play it. I mean, maybe you could. I don't know. I say that now, and I totally got paid to play not League of Legends, but Raid Shadow Legends. So there you go. But hey, they paid me, so what am I gonna do? Let's see here. What else we got? Has anyone seen that Woodstock 99 documentary? Yes, it is messed up. I knew a lot of the stuff that happened there. All I know is that there is a large group of people who, whenever they hear Limp Bizkit break stuff, just do that.
I am not aware of this documentary.
It's on Hulu, I think. Okay. But yeah, basically it's a documentary about Woodstock 99 and all the chicanery that happened during it. was pretty wild. Let's see. You better not. Nah, Carter was totally gonna tell y'all he loved the Clone Saga. Let's see here. Let's see.
Now, I could have been real low down. And when Ernie asked me who wrote my favorite Spider-Man, who wrote my best Spider-Man, I could have just said Insomniac on y'all asses. That's what I could have said. Could have just threw that Spider-Man PS4 game in y'all faces, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be mean. I mean, just going to say...
Honestly, it would not have been a wrong thing to say, but I mean... See, I wouldn't have been bothered by that. It would not have bothered me. I'd have been like, that's fine. What it says here, it says, can we keep in mind that the X-Men is also reaching towards 60th anniversary next year. It started back in 1963. That is true. Which means we will probably be getting very close to a status quo.
I was
return.
just about to ask.
Because we are January kicks off the new era. And it kind of sounds like things are about to end. Which, I mean, I'd be fine with. We got a good run out of this. This shit's been going since 2019. So, I mean, we're in 2022 now. I honestly didn't expect it to go this long. But considering that Jonathan Hickman basically gave us the Marvel equivalent of East of West, but with mutants, I'm okay with it. He didn't finish it. He didn't stick around to finish it like he did with East of West, which went 45 issues. But, I mean, he did the best he could under difficult circumstances. I'm pretty sure there were some things that broke down towards the middle or end there that led to him walking away from it. If he ever were to come back to it, I'd be happy with it, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Did he ever finish that fucking Shield that people had been clamoring about? Because I know it took him years just to come back to it, but did he ever finish it?
Why is there a bunch of Frieza in Boruto? Why am I reading these terrible mangas? I have no idea. I've not been reading Boruto.
So, yeah,
I honestly don't.
I kind of skipped one question because they were asking you how you felt about a Dragon Ball character, and I don't stay on Dragon Ball like that. Even if I told him what it was,
I wouldn't remember. I wouldn't commit it to memory.
You wouldn't.
Okay, here's the thing, and I've said this a lot of times. I don't jive with shonen anime anymore these days because, as its name would imply, it's intended, and I'm not judging anyone here. I want to make sure I preface this. As its name implies, it's intended for young boys. I'm not in that age group anymore. And there's just certain things that I've noticed about shonen anime that is very samey. The same way I always see people who are manga heads who always criticize American comics saying, oh, well, they always do this, they always do that, they always do this, they always do that. It's all the same. Manga's kind of the same way to me. I've been reading manga long enough that, like, I've seen all the same tropes. Nobody's writing anything that I haven't seen before. I've seen it all. Even stuff like Chainsaw Man, which everybody's like, oh my god, Chainsaw Man! I've never seen anything like it. Okay. Because you're young. I've been around a while. I was reading manga back when it wasn't cool to read manga. But I've seen stuff like that before. And it's not just manga either. It's anime too, and Japanese storytelling in general. I've actually kind of fallen off JRPGs for the same reason, because Japanese storytelling is very samey. Just like how American storytelling is very samey, because it's a cultural thing. Japanese people write things a very particular way because that's their culture. And we write things a very certain way here because that's our culture. We get a little bit more... Honestly, I feel like American writing gets a little bit more diverse in it because America's more of a melting pot than Japan is. But at the same time, yeah, it's all the same. It's all... every shonen anime. Here you go. Here's the arc. Some male character wants to be the best or greatest, fill in the blank. That's the plot. I just gave you the plot of just about every shonen anime in existence. Said character is somehow either A, just a Mary Sue and I'm using this as a pejorative here, which is uncharacteristic for me, is a Mary Sue who's just automatically good at everything they do except for the one time that they're not, and even then they're still the best there is at what it is they do, or they're an idiot savant. They're kind of a dumb character that just happens to be good at one thing, and they're better at it than anybody else, and that's how they overcome everything. Everything either ends in a fight or some existential conversation. And characters who start out as enemies, sometimes become allies, or they get killed. That's shown in anime to me in a nutshell. So that's why I don't really... It's like, I literally told Carl this one time. I was like, I could start one shonen anime at episode 1, skip to a different shonen anime at episode 10, and then get that one to 20, and then skip to another shonen anime at like maybe episode 30 or something, and then come back to the first one 10 episodes after that, and I would never have lost the thread, because they're all the fucking same. Because they all follow the same beats. But yeah, neither here nor there. Let's see here. Let's see. What was the point of depowering Franklin Richards? No clue. I still don't understand that one that they did in Fantastic Four number 25. And then made him not a mutant. Basically said, no, you were just pretending. You used your reality warping powers to make yourself feel special. I was like, damn, Dan Slott, are you okay? I'm like, Dan Slott is normally a really nice guy. Why is he being so mean to Franklin? What did Franklin do? He's slapping Franklin like Reed did. Oh, my God. Anyway. What else we got in here?
I see one from Fancy Boy 82. A question for Carter and Ernie. Who are your favorite creative team or comic run right now? I've heard you guys talk about Nicholas Draper, so I'm curious as to other people whose work you enjoy.
Like so favorite creative team overall?
Or comic run right now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Honestly, it's really difficult for me to recommend something other than either James Tenney in the Fourth and Werther Deladera on Something's Killing the Children, or Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora on Once and Future. It's very difficult for me to recommend anybody outside of that. Even Saga, when it's not on hiatus. Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan, that those teams are money. David F. Walker and Chuck Brown and Sanford Green on Bitter Root. Those are those are teams that just don't miss. You know what I mean? Like the other day I was talking with Dave from Comic Book Herald. Which, by the way, if you haven't done so, go check out his channel. He and I did a live stream yesterday talking about East of West, and you kind of just deep diving into our thoughts on that 45 issue series. But Nick Dragata and Jonathan Hickman is like money. It's a match made in heaven, 100%. Let's see.
Honestly, there are two. And I don't want to keep it mainstream, but I got to. Marvel's Daredevil, just because I am the biggest fan of Marco Cicchetto's art. Mm-hmm. I've always been a fan of his art ever since I've seen it in Greg Rucka's Punisher run, and Chip Zdarsky's great writing just complements it really, really well. Yes. Another one that more fucking people need to read. This was created, written, and drawn by one brother. A book by the name of Farmhand from Rob Guillory. Yeah. That's another one that I would really recommend, just because the creative team.
There's one dude.
It's just one brother doing this with colorers, obviously, and with lettering and stuff like that, because you have to have those. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, like a Walking Dead. But yeah, Farmhand is another good one. If anyone has never heard of Rob Guillory, or you think you've never heard of him, he's the gentleman that wrote and drew Chew, if you've heard of that book. But Farmhand is really, 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 really good. Really good.
I'll also throw out Far Sector because I really like Jamal Campbell's art. His art can save a book for me. Naomi season 1, which I really liked. Naomi season 2 isn't bad. I think it took a while to get where it was going. But it got there. But Jamal Campbell's art kept me in 100%. Just because it's so good. He's just really good at drawing a lot of different characters, not just black characters, but just characters in general. I like the way he depicts the human form. There's just something about it I just really like. And the same goes for Marco Cicchetto. Fantastic artist. Alessandro Capuccio is another one too. I really like his Moon Knight. His Moon Knight's fantastic. But yeah, those are some out there just for you. So basically, basically, you want to watch One Piece? No, I don't. I actually told one of our homies, NSA Jose, because apparently, and I told him this a long time ago. I said, they're going to bring One Piece to Fortnite. I said, they're going to bring Dragon Ball and Naruto first, but I said, just mark my words, One Piece is coming to Fortnite. And he said, when they do, he said he was going to buy me One Piece skins. I said, they will never get used. I said they will never get used. Let's see. Have you seen the new logo design of Ryan North's Fantastic Four? It brings out the 90s nostalgia with Alex Ross's incredible covers, plus taking an episodic story per issue per character. That would be interesting. I'd be interested in seeing that. I would be interested in seeing that. Let's see here. Xyla's this perfect example, Blur Without Fear. Every single isekai anime now where the main character is on God mode. Yeah, see, that's the thing. They all do the same shit. Because there's no such thing as original. Hell, the idea of an isekai isn't even original. The only reason why people think isekais are original because they're using the Japanese name for what it is. Isekais have been around since before Japanese people started writing them. Technically, Tron is an isekai. Getting transported into a video game or computer world in alternate reality. Hell, the original Dungeons and Dragons cartoon was an isekai. I always laugh at that. But yeah, every character has to get into God mode, or they got cheat codes, oh my god, I'm so over that shit. Anyway, it was cute the first time I saw it in Sword Art Online, and then everything was an isekai after that. And while yes, One Piece has outsold both Batman and Superman, cool, but I don't care. That doesn't validate a book for me. I know better comics than One Piece that haven't sold half as much as it. So there you go. Hell, I know comics that haven't sold shit that are better than One Piece. But yeah, anyway. Says Gokhan sure his baby's father with the says this may seem like a stupid question, but do Africa got comics, and are you interested in the diversity manga that are in the making? I think you're talking about like Black Sands, some of the other ones that are coming up. Yeah, I mean, I think that's cool. I mean, I think and Africa has its own art form and style of comics. You just don't hear about it as often. Let's see here. Pop culture guy says, am I imagining patterns, or is the only consistent outlier to the shonen anime manga formula is shonen horror? Parasite, The Maxim, Attack on Titan, they're all never about being the best. No, those are, well, here's the thing. So Attack on Titan is more of a seinen anime and less a shonen, and so is Parasite. Seinen have different tropes to them. Not all the same, because they're usually more geared towards young adults. Usually those books don't follow those same rules as your typical shonen. So, oh, you're being facetious. Okay, yeah, good, because yeah, dude, One Piece is. You know what? If I dragged out a story for over 1,000 issues, yeah, sure, I would have sold more than Batman and Superman too. But yeah. Yeah, Captain N, an isekai. Yep. All of it. Thoughts on Kimberly? Kimberly is the new fighter of color in Street Fighter 6. Carter and I have talked to this off on the side. I don't like her. At least I don't like how she's depicted. It's like I hate that every Japanese company that comes up with a black character, she got to be breakdancing, she got to be rapping, she got to be into graffiti, she got to be into something that lets you know that she's black. She can't just be black and just be an interesting character. I'm sure she's fine, but by and large, Japanese people are terrible at making black characters. By and large, very few are actually good and not caricatures or stereotypes. I always like to point out characters like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. That's probably one of the most cartoonish black people I think I've seen in anything popular from Japan in a long time. And if you go back and watch old anime whenever black characters are present, not good. Hell, One Piece has a whole Sambo in it. And I'm not talking about the one dude with the long nose. I'm talking about, like, there's an episode where there's literally, like, a character who gets the screen left on him for a while is a whole ass Sambo, like what you would see back in the old days. But anyways, that's it. We're gonna answer the super chat here. We got a super chat here from Nick D, and then we're gonna close it out. Nick D says, with $20 super chat, says, my heart is so full of love from that concert that I'm throwing another $20 and I'm making it 20. So Carter don't got to hear the song. So you're welcome, Carter. LMAO. Dude, look, we appreciate you. and Carter appreciates you too, because you know what? For as much as he cringes when I sing that 1999 jingle, this is how he gets paid. So it's okay. He can hear it. But anyways, let's go ahead and drop it off here. Carter, do you have anything that you want to share before we get out of here?
I don't. I was laughing at Mailman's CB4 reference in reference to Kimberly on Street Fighter. But nah, man, I have absolutely nothing going on. I'm just going to go play some more of this Spider-Man and laugh at these mods that I'm seeing that people are making that are so unnecessary.
I'm probably going to get on Fortnite here in just a sec and try and get Darth Vader because I'm literally like a few stars away. But and then I'm probably going to... Oh, and then I got a movie to go to. Almost forgot. Got a movie to go to.
What's
anyway...
that?
We're taking Cersei to go see it's a movie she wanted to see called Beast. Apparently,
the Idris Elba joint. Okay,
yeah, she wants to go see it. Which is funny because I think she only knows about it because of a YouTube ad. That's how we wind up with so much shit in our house. She's like, I saw an ad for it. That's what she always like. She's become the unofficial spokeschild for CeraVe lotion because she saw a commercial for it, and that's all she talks about is CeraVe lotion. It's like, I think you need some CeraVe. I'm like, okay, all right. I was like, my ankle's getting too ashy. Okay, let me go put on some CeraVe, and she'll go get it. Like, she even knows the jingle for it is really weird. Anyway, point of the matter is, we're gonna go take her to go see that, even though I don't know why she wants to see it. I don't think that's actually a kids movie. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I have a feeling she gonna end up running out that theater because she saw Sea Beast the other day, and she might be thinking it might be something like that. And I'm like, no, baby, it's about killer animal. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Keep it locked here on the channel because we do have some announcements that are gonna be coming up in the next little bit. I have a little something special we're going to be doing here coming soon. It's all thanks to Jonathan Moda, one of Earth's mightiest. And might have another thing I might be doing too. It won't be as grandiose, but I'll be doing... we got a couple of things coming up here. But make sure to keep it locked because we do have a couple more videos coming out. I'll be trying to drop my videos for Daredevil and New Mutants number 28 here pretty soon. Probably by tomorrow. And the top 5 comics of the week will be dropping either sometime late tonight or tomorrow morning. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Just so much stuff has gone on. I'm so behind on everything. But hope to see you guys next time. And y'all keep it plus ultra in the meantime. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Staying happy, healthy, and sane. We out of here.